Denver Broncos. They will try and erase those bad memories today as Hollis runs underneath the kick at the 8-yard line. Over the 20, still battling, out to the 23-yard line. Tyrone Braxton is in on the tackle there for the Denver Broncos. And also there is Sean Knight, number 99. And so Steve DeBerg, number 17, a 12-year veteran, gets the start at quarterback. Here's the offensive lineup. Larry Moriarty, a change at fullback. A bigger fullback, James Saxon, has been playing there. That will help out Paul Palmer blocking-wise. And those fine wide receivers, the offensive line, big, but they have to get going. Must protect the quarterback and must get that running game going. First and 10, Kansas City. That's the Denver defense out at the 24-yard line. Moriarty and Palmer sit in behind DeBerg. Stephon Page and Carlos Carson, your wide receivers. Denver in their 3-4 defense. First down pass. A lot of different options. They go out to Palmer. Nice move out close to the 35-yard line and a first down. Tackle made by Mark Haynes, who had a fine game last week against San Diego. Carl Mecklenburg also in there on the chase. Joe DeBerg looked off a couple of receivers and then finally found Palmer. As you look at the front three, Gilbert, Cragen, and Townsend, the linebackers. Watch for 77 Mecklenburg. He'll line up in a number of positions today. And in the defensive backfield, Randy Robbins is in for Dennis Smith. Smith has had a hamstring problem, suffered last week. First and 10 for Kansas City. And that in itself is improvement over the last couple of weeks. Palmer, Moriarty in the backfield. It's Palmer again, this time on the run. Good cutback over the 40, out close to the 44-yard line. Greg Cragen and Mike Harden in on the tackle. Larry Moriarty already showing, Joe, that blocking fullback has been a big boost for Palmer running.
Right away on the first play, we'll look at the ground level shot, and you'll see possibly number 32, Larry Moriarty, on number 73, Simon Fletcher. This opens up the hole for Paul Palmer to cut back inside. Good blocking. Larry Moriarty is a much better blocker than Saxon. Saxon only went about 210 pounds.
Stephon Page to the top of the screen. Carlos Carson is in tight, just off the line of scrimmage. Alfredo Roberts is the tight end. Carson in motion. Second down and 1. DeBerg gives it off, and the big bull, Larry Moriarty, is into Denver territory down to the 48-yard line where the free safety, Mike Harden, must come up. The center, Tom Baugh, and Rich Baldinger clearing the way for Moriarty, and the Chiefs moving well on offense.
Well, these last three plays, just does so much for the Chiefs' confidence. You know, that offensive line that the Chiefs have averages 290 pounds, so if they can get a helmet on the defensive front of the Broncos, they're going to have a big day on the ground.
Frank Gannon's preaching motivation yesterday. His team had a long Saturday morning workout, the longest that they've had on the day before a ball game all season long. And so far, this man, DeBerg, has had the offense moving very nicely. From the 48-yard line of Denver, on first and 10, DeBerg up top. He's going for Carson. And Mark Haynes was there stride for stride down at the Denver 15-yard line. Crowd bellowing for a flag, but very good coverage by Haynes.
That was beautiful coverage by Mark Haynes. We'll see Carson come down the field in this isolation and put a little move on Mark Haynes. Try and get him to stop and then get his feet going again. You'll see Carson slow down here now. Now he's hoping that Haynes would slip a little bit, but Haynes wouldn't have any part of it. Excellent coverage.
So in a move like that, maybe slip on the wet turf.
On a day like today, for sure.
There's Mark Haynes, rated out 100% last week in his coverage against San Diego. Palmer and puts the ball on the ground. It's a very loose football, isn't it? Can DeBerg get it? Can the Chiefs get it? Stephon Page got it back at the 45-yard line of Kansas City. Heads up play. Boy, that was a loose football. Nobody could get their hands on it.
Well, we'll probably see some more of that before the day's over as the rain continues to come down. They haven't made a running back that's ever played football that's held onto the ball every time. And sometimes you have to give credit to the defense for snatching at the ball and ripping it out. I couldn't tell what happened that time, but I'll bet the weather had something to do with it.
Stephon Page in on the coverage of that fumble, number 83. And there you see him looking in the huddle. Steve DeBerg ready to bring him out. Here it is. Watch Palmer carry the ball. And then just stripped to the ball by Mecklenburg and Rulon Jones. It is third down in a bundle right now for Kansas City. DeBerg out in the flat. Palmer trying to shake loose at midfield. Steps out at the 48-yard line. Jim Ryan, the right outside linebacker for the Broncos, chases him out. And it will be fourth down. And Kelly Goodburn is coming in to punt it away for the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs were moving, and then the fumble by Paul Palmer. And that unplugs that drive. Kevin Clark is standing back deep for the Denver Broncos, back at his 10-yard line. Gerald Wilhite is back there, too. There's Wilhite. And Clark flanks him on the other side. Good Woodburn on the season. 41.6-yard average. Punts it away. Angling it towards Clark. He'll run it. Bumps into his own man at the 10. And the Chiefs cover very well. Down on the coverage for Kansas City, Sidney Johnson was there first. A 40-yard punt, a 2-yard return. Very nice coverage there by Sidney Johnson. Broncos first at-bat with the football when we...
Paul Palmer takes the ball and goes to the right of your screen. You'll see number 75 on the right of your screen get his left arm in there, along with Mecklenburg from the left, and the ball squirts loose. And, well, these footballs are elusive, huh?
Tyrone Braxton, number 34 for Denver, had a great chance to recover the football. He had it right at his feet. Now the Denver Broncos, as we are scoreless, 0-0, 11:24 left in the first quarter, had a sideline huddle during that timeout. They start deep in their own territory. Elway at quarterback. Dorsett. And Sammy Winder in the backfield. Orson Mobley, the tight end, in motion. Dorsett. Banged right away. Out close to the 15-yard line. Bill Moss and Aaron Pearson in on the tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the Bronco offensive lineup. Elway, Dorsett, Winder. They are without the wide receiver Mark Jackson. He broke his collarbone last week, and he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. And the offensive line, they played very well last week against San Diego. Denver hit on all cylinders last week. Second down, and 7 yards to go for a first down. Elway rolling away from Sammy Winder. Tosses. Mobley, the tight end, has it. And Orson Mobley puts the ball down on the carpet, and it's going to be recovered by Dino Hackett of the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs ball deep in Denver territory.
Well, the ball's wet. It's tough to hold on to. Dino Hackett is all over the field, sideline to sideline. Here's an end zone replay. John Elway rolls out to his right, and you'll see Orson Mobley, number 89, come into view at the top of your screen. Just a little dump off. Now, Orson gets some yardage, but he forgets to hold on to the ball.
Deron Terry knocked it away, Joe, and he was really carrying it out there very loosely, wasn't he?
Well, he got it back in position pretty good, but Leonard Griffin came across his back, and I think that helped draw it loose.
Larry Moriarty lines up as the lone back in the backfield. Palmer is out wide to the bottom of your screen. And Carson and Page are on the same side at the top of your screen. Steve DeBerg at quarterback. Ball is at the Denver 35. First and 10 after the fumble recovery. Moriarty bulls over the right side for 2 yards. Mecklenburg in on the tackle. Also there, Freddie Gilbert, the left defensive end.
I've been impressed so far with DeBerg's presence of mind. There's Mecklenburg. Now, he's all-world. Everybody's all-pro at linebacker. They just line him up everywhere. Most of the time, though, they've been keeping him in the middle because Dan Reed says whenever they put him on the outside, teams run away from him. He wants to be in the middle so he can get to the play more easily.
10 minutes to go, first quarter. Second down, 8-5. Defensive backs in for the Denver Broncos. Back split behind DeBerg. Play action fake to Palmer. Alfredo Roberts up at the 21-yard line, and he couldn't pull it down. Would have been a heck of a catch by the rookie tight end out of Miami.
Good-looking play. A lot of deception by DeBerg. He just simply overthrew the receiver that time. Roberts. DeBerg has looked cool to me. On that third down play a while ago, Denver dropped back in the zone, and DeBerg didn't try to stick it in there in the deep zone. He's avoiding the turnovers. He's a smart quarterback, and, well, these weather conditions are going to cause the quarterback to throw the ball a little haywire today.
Once again, Carson and Page will head out on the same side. Palmer lines up in the backfield. Emil Harry is in now, and he is wide to the bottom of your screen. 3 wideouts in there for the Kansas City Chiefs. 5 defensive backs countered by the Broncos. Third and 8. Out on the flat. Palmer can't pull it down. It was high. Kevin Clark was blowing in on the coverage anyway to help out. He was ready to put the stick on Palmer, so the Chiefs cannot cash in on the fumble recovery by Dino Hackett, and Nick Lowry will come in and attempt a very long field goal, one he is very capable of making. Let's see what he does here in the rain. Kenny will be the holder, the backup quarterback today. Lowry on the season is 2 for 2. The spot will come. close to the 41-yard line. Lowry getting it sized up. He missed a field goal last year in Denver against the Broncos. They would have tied the game and sent it into overtime, and the Chiefs lost 20-17. This one doesn't have enough. It's good. Nick Lowry with a 50-yard field goal, and the Chiefs are on the board first here this afternoon and lead 3-0. Here it is.
Well, this kick doesn't clear the crossbar by more than 2 or 3 yards. It's so close, but it's right on line all the way. We'll watch Lowry's expression here, and he knows it's
covering deep in Denver territory. 3-0 Kansas City. Denver waits for the ball. Ken Bell and Kevin Clark standing back deep. It's Bell out of Boston College at his own 3. Over the 20-yard line where Gary Baldinger is down there to make the first hit and the only hit right there because he was down there. David Hollis, number 25, helped out. Let's check in on Sunday number 3 in the NFL. Yankees lead the Red Sox 1-0, and Detroit 5 games back will be starting in just a few minutes against Baltimore. Dorsett and Winder in the backfield. John Elway has Vance Johnson in motion. 1st and 10. Dorsett with the cut and read. And pretty good defense shown there by the Kansas City Chiefs. Lewis Cooper and Dino Hackett were there, along with Aaron Pearson. All of the linebackers team up for the hit on Dorsett as he started outside Joe, then made the read and came back up to the middle, and there were a lot of red helmets there.
Well, Aaron Pearson has a lot of speed, and he went right to the ball that time. He's a very tough guy to block, going at 240 pounds, and, well, he's fast. Right now, it looks like the Chiefs are winning this battle at the line of scrimmage.
Rookie Neil Smith is in at a defensive end spot. The top draft choice out of Nebraska. Dorsett and Winder checked out of the lineup. They give it to Steve Sewell. Sewell to the outside, to the 25, and that's it. Kevin Ross is on the corner, and he knocks him out. Also over there on the play was Tim Cofield, the outside linebacker for the Chiefs. Very good pursuit as Elway tried to misdirect and send Sewell to the outside.
This kind of defensive effort is what the Chiefs need to get him fired up. Also, number 96 on the top of his screen, moving laterally, is going to get over there and get Sewell. We mentioned his good movement. Here he comes, Aaron Pearson right now, along with Ross to make the play.
3rd down, 7 yards to go for a Denver 1st down. Out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers in for the Broncos, spread out all over the field. Ricky Nattiel in motion. Chiefs with a rush. Elway getting pressured. Got away from Moss. Down the field. Oh, he's got Vance Johnson open at the 42-yard line, and he makes the catch. What an ad-libbing play by Elway.
This is what makes this Denver team so dangerous offensively. John Elway's ability to buy time with his elusiveness, plus the strong arm. Here you see the receiver coming downfield. It's Sewell right now, number 30. And he's just going to buy some time, look around for an open spot, and never get the ball thrown to him. He almost decided to quit right there. He had an ISO on a man that didn't get the ball.
Dorsett and Winder back in the backfield. That was a 16-yard pass play. Here comes Dorsett. Good block on the outside, and he'll pick up a couple of extra yards out to the 46-yard line, and he's driven out of bounds. Vance Johnson on the block. Tackle made by the free safety, a rookie, Kevin Porter. Dorsett back to the Denver huddle as he got his first running room of the day.
Anytime you're playing in a defensive line, you have a long day against John Elway. Number 63, Bill Moss, the all-pro nose tackle. Figures he has Elway right here. Nope. Just gets pushed out of the way. It's going to be a long, tough day for these defensive linemen.
2nd down at 5 for Denver at their own 46. 2 tight ends in. Pat Kelly and number 89 in motion. Now they're on the same side. Orson Mobley. And Mobley heads in motion again. Over the right side, Sammy Winder for a couple of yards. Chiefs playing well against the run. Neil Smith and Bill Moss in on the tackle for Kansas City as they tie up Sammy Winder. Winder being asked to play a new position when he's in the backfield with Dorsett. Joe, he'll be playing out of a fullback spot. He'll have to be one of the smaller fullbacks in the NFL.
Yes, but Sammy's not complaining about it. Winder says he's just glad to have the opportunity to have the job. He wants to play football. He loves it. And if it takes blocking for Tony D, that's what he'll do.
Tony D on the sideline right now. He'll watch this play. Wilhite is in the backfield along with Elway out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 5 with 7:10 remaining here in the first quarter. 3-0 Kansas City. Elway going big for Vance Johnson again, and it is going to be picked off by Deron Cherry. At the 16-yard line, Albert Lewis had it. Deron Cherry ends up with the pickoff. Elway has thrown 17 interceptions now against this Chiefs secondary.
Well, Ray actually had his receiver open that time. The pass was a little underthrown, and Albert Lewis made a terrific recovery and tipped the ball around for Deron Cherry to make the play. Here we'll see it from the end zone. There's plenty of pass protection for Elway. He has the time to get the ball out there. He just underthrows the ball slightly. And Johnson had to wait on it, and Lewis was there to make the play and Cherry the interception.
Joe, it looked like Lewis had to come back and recover a little bit, and he did. There's the man, Deron Cherry, who said, we can play against John Elway, and so far they're doing very well. On first down, Paul Palmer is the ball carrier for the Kansas City Chiefs. Carl Mecklenburg in on the tackle. Ball is out to the 20-yard line. Gain of a couple of yards. 2nd down coming up for the Chiefs. 2nd down 3. On the gain by Palmer, 2nd down 7 make it as DeBerg brings his Chiefs up to the line of scrimmage. 6:28 remaining, first quarter. 3-0 Kansas City. An interception by Deron Cherry gave the Chiefs the ball back. Quick dump over the middle, thrown high, and Carlos Carson couldn't pull it down, and then it was almost picked off by Mike Harden. Jeremiah Castile was on the coverage there of Carson, but it was Harden diving in, and he almost ended up with the deflected ball. And so far, Joe, 3 occasions DeBerg's been high with his passes.
Yeah, well, the ball's slippery. I don't know if the ball was slippery on John Elway's underthrow a little while ago. But as a quarterback, when the ball slips out of your hand, you get a little tentative. You get a little worried about it, and you start pressing. That ball simply was an overthrow. He had an open receiver, and it's probably caused by the wetness.
3 wide receivers into the game now for Kansas City as Emil Harry is stretched out on the far side as a wideout. Palmer and Moriarty join DeBerg in the backfield out of the shotgun. 3rd down 7. Throwing. Stephon Page had it at the 40-yard line. Hit him a little bit high, but maybe a catchable ball. And Kansas City must punt on 4th down.
Oh, that was a beautiful pass by DeBerg. Excellent pass. You won't see Stephon Page drop too many of these. Meantime, there was excellent pass protection also on a down that the Broncos knew KC had to throw the ball. They didn't get any pressure at all back there on DeBerg. Giving him that time, he's going to be successful in some of these passes.
Kelly Goodburn punted once on the day so far. That was a 40-yarder that pinned Denver back deep in their own territory back at about the 10-yard line. Earl Wilhite is back deep. Good high punt. Wilhite at his 37. Way up in the air he goes, and he dives out over the 45 to the 48-yard line. That looked like an Olympic event there. Sidney Johnson was the man that went down low. A 43-yard punt, and Wilhite way up in the air, a 10-yard return. Right now, the Chiefs in control, leading 6:02 left to go, first quarter. And the Chiefs lead 3-0. There's John Elway coming away, Joe, from the sideline huddle used by Dan Reeves during that timeout break. Ball is out at the 48-yard line. Coach Reeves knows that every time that they travel in here to Arrowhead Stadium, his Broncos struggle, and they trail 3-0. Orson Mobley, the tight end, down and back and down in motion. Winder on the pitch. We're seeing a lot of Winder, not much Dorsett. Winder goes down with excellent pursuit by the rookie Kevin Porter, and Tim Cofield was there to put him down. Porter making his first start for the injured Lloyd Burris.
There's Tim Cofield. A lot of speed, strong and quick. He's good at playing off blocks. We see Dan Reeves here coming up in a second on our replay, I'm told. Where is Coach Reeves? Oh, here he is visiting with his huddle. Now, a lot of teams in the NFL are going to this huddle on the sideline. This way they can talk more with one another, get a direct comment from their coach, then go right to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down, 12. Dorsett's now back in the backfield. That's Sewell in motion. Elway. A deflected pass is knocked down. Aaron Pearson, 96, got in there and knocked the ball down along with Leonard Griffin. As they knocked the ball away, Pearson and Griffin both with hands high deflected the pass of Elway down to the turf, and it's now 3rd down and 12 for Denver. Well, this is the technique by defensive linemen. If they're not going to get in there on the pass, to get their hands up. Number 98, Griffin, right here, gets his hands up to deflect the pass. I think that was first made popular, Jim, by the Dallas Cowboys. I used to watch those guys knock down a lot of passes before most of these other teams even started to do it.
6 defensive backs in the lineup for Kansas City. Out of the shotgun, Will Hyde and Sewell in the backfield blocking for Elway. 3rd and 12. Look at the Chiefs chase. And Vance Johnson makes another catch down inside the 30 to the 29.5-yard line. The second time that same situation has come about. Elway flushed out of the pocket, Joe, rolling to the near sideline, looping it down the field, and Vance Johnson is on the other end.
Just great individual effort by both Elway and Vance Johnson. Now, this can be extremely frustrating for the defense. They're trying to get pressure back there. They have Elway in a runaway situation, but he finds Johnson coming back to the ball, back to the quarterback, away from the defenders to make the play. Very frustrating for a defensive unit.
25 yards on the pass play and a first down. Deepest penetration for the Broncos inside the 30-yard line. In motion, Sewell. Now that's shot. Dorsett out of the backfield now as a receiver, and they go that way. And I think someone else got a hand on that pass. Aaron Pearson again had his hand up there and knocked it to the other side of Dorsett. So the incompleted pass makes it 2nd down and 10. Let's go to the scoreboard now and see what's going on around the NFL. As you look at 96, Aaron Pearson. He's had a busy start. The Jets jump out ahead of Houston 7-3. Still 2-0. Pittsburgh on a safety on a holding call in the end zone. Look at Miami. They've got it going. Marino's thrown a touchdown pass to Clayton in that one. Detroit ahead of New Orleans 7-0. New Orleans been getting off to some slow starts in their games. Phoenix ahead of Tampa Bay 10-0. 2nd and 10, Elway. Winder blocking for him in the backfield. The pass dropped. Simply dropped by Orson Mobley, the tight end, at the 21-yard line. And he's had a rough start. He's fumbled here already and now dropped one right in his hands.
Well, Mobley, my man, you can get hurt that way, son. You need to use your hands when you catch a pass. He lets the ball hit him right in the chest, and it's going to bounce off those pads to the ground. Sure, the Broncos, they miss Clarence Kay, but Mobley usually comes up with this kind of catch. It's a hard throw right in the numbers to Mobley, but just he just doesn't hold on to it.
They are without their starting tight end, Clarence Kay. He has a bruised spinal cord. Might be back next week. On 3rd and 10, Elway's been big on 3rd down plays, and he is again as Will Hyde makes the catch at the 20, dives for a couple more yards to the 18, and a Denver first down, a 13-yard pass play. Will Hyde up limping on the left ankle.
What a beautiful move by Will Hyde to get the first down. I mean, Hacker was in position to make the play, but Will Hyde just jumped right around him. He could have injured his leg on that move.
Joe, so far, really, you take a look at the situation. Elway on 3rd down has been so good. Yesterday when we talked to Duron Cherry, there's the catch. Will Hyde looks as though he makes the twist of the ankle right there as Dino Hackett brought him down, and he slipped for a couple of extra yards. But Duron Cherry said yesterday, we want them to be 3rd down and 10. They're playing into our strength, and so far Elway's been perfect on 3rd down.
Yes, well, you want any quarterback or offense with a 3rd down and 10 situation. That would be great for the defense. But again, Elway has the ability to move around and buy extra time and the gun to get the ball to these excellent outside receivers. There's not a secondary in the NFL that's going to be able to keep up with a wide receiver for 6 or 7 seconds. I mean, I don't care who you are, Duron Cherry or any defensive back in the league. That's in Elway. This is his big asset for this Denver offense.
Will Hyde to the sidelines. We had some problems with the game clock. That has now been straightened out. 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. A Nick Lowry 50-yard field goal has Kansas City ahead, 3-0. But as you can see, Denver's knocking on the door. 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 18-yard line. Dorsett to the outside with Parks leading the way. And Kevin Porter up from that safety spot along with Cofield and Pearson to gang tackle on Dorsett. A couple of yards on the play. 2nd down and 8.
Kansas City's playing the run very well. They actually played the run well against Cleveland and Seattle in their first 2 weeks. They've limited those teams to under 300 yards offense. It's just that Kansas City's own offense has been hurting.
And last week against Seattle, they were just on the field so much that they got tired and finally scored on. And there's Gerald Wilhite as they take a look at that left ankle. He was injured on a 3rd down reception. 2nd down, closer to 9. Ricky McKeel in motion. Elway gives it to Natil. And a quick play there on the tackle by Kevin Ross. There's a flag thrown from the defensive backfield. The first flag of the afternoon, and we'll check it out as we look at John Elway, and he's very interested to see what the call is. Defensive holding on the Chiefs. Carries with it an automatic first down. Jerry Seaman, as you saw, the referee making the call. We'll pick up the number once they step it off. Here it is.
Holding, number 55 defense, first down.
Lewis Cooper nailed for the penalty. You can hear some cheers in the background. And Joe, in our hotel this morning, you could see a lot of orange and blue getting ready to head out to Arrowhead Stadium. The Broncos are here, and they have brought some support with them.
Oh, they're great fans. In Bronco, they travel around with the team. Probably the best football fans around the country in Denver.
The automatic first down after the step off on the holding penalty. Here's Dorsett. Dorsett inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Tackle made by Neil Smith and Mike Bell. Well, there's the new equation in Denver. 33 Dorsett plus 7 Elway equals Super Bowl 23, and what they hope will be a third consecutive trip and a first victory in that big one.
Well, if it's a third consecutive trip, it'll be the first time any team has done it, and I guess the third time should be a charm for anyone and anything. Huh?
And they would deserve it if they get there and win it. Natil to the bottom of the screen as you look at Dorsett lining up in the backfield. Winder in the backfield with him. Second down. Inside the Kansas City 10. Dorsett, a quick read, spills down to the 6-yard line. Bill Moss flew through and made the hit, helped out by Aaron Pearson.
Good hit by Dino Hackett as well. Now, Dorsett, some people say that he's lost some speed, he's lost some explosiveness. But in talking with Frank Gantz yesterday, he doesn't feel like he's lost a step at all. He always keeps himself in excellent position, and he's able to make the breaks because of his footwork. His feet are always under him.
Third down from the Kansas City 7-yard line. Look at all the wideouts in there now. Rick Massey checks into the game for Denver, and Mobley, the tight end, is lined up wide. Elway, a flag comes down. To the end zone, touchdown. Vance Johnson will have to check out the flag. And the spike, and the dance by one of the amigos.
Once again, it's all John Elway. I shouldn't say all John Elway. He's getting some blocking, and as you see,
Offside, number 99 defense, penalty decline, touchdown.
Offside on the Chiefs. On Mike Bell, the defensive end, and it's an 8-yard touchdown catch for Vance Johnson. Well, and the touchdown is good.
Well, here's the replay. We better keep an eye on Johnson in the back of the end zone. He may have stepped out of bounds, but again, this is mostly Elway buying the time, giving his receivers a chance to get across into an open spot.
They're checking to see if the feet were down on that back line of the end zone, and we'll wait and see. I think they're going to take a look at this in replay now upstairs and take a look at it. Here's the call now from Jerry Seaman. I believe he has checked it out.
It is ruled by the field judge, the receiver stepped out of bounds prior to catching the pass. No touchdown. We'll have a 5-yard penalty.
How about that, Joe?
Well, the field's pretty big, but I guess Vance wanted to use more of the field. Deron Cherry spotted it and started to complain right away to the official. John Elway, well, he looks confused, but he's not. He knows what happened, and it doesn't shake John Elway one bit. He figures he'd just come in and get another score anyway.
Well, of course, remember now, the penalty would still stand against Kansas City on the offside call, as Mike Bell had jumped offside. Elway back to work.
Offside on the defense. So actually, offsetting penalties. Offsetting penalties, repeat the down.
We're going to play the whole down over.
Well, you're not allowed to go off the field and come back in and catch the pass. That's a basic rule. It's been in existence since I played, and had they not had the offside penalty, of course, Denver would have gotten penalty. Even if you're pushed out of bounds by a defensive player and you want to come back in to catch the pass, it's going to be a penalty on you if you touch the ball.
Dan Reeves yelling out, do it again, John, do it again. Holding up the number 4, third down conversions. Look at that, 3 for 4. And the only one they missed was a drop. Natil, top of the screen. And then a lot of traffic over here on the bottom of the screen. Rick Massey is into the lineup. Sam Grady is in. Vance Johnson in. Winder in the backfield. Third down from the 6. Incomplete. They threw it behind Rick Massey. Sidney Johnson was over there on the coverage for Kansas City. Elway threw it early. Massey was not looking that way. And it's an incompleted pass, so they must settle for 3 and a chance to tie.
Well, John Elway had to throw that ball early. He got some pressure in there from Neil Smith and Mike Bell, I believe, and Massey simply wasn't turned around quickly enough. But John had to let the ball go, otherwise take the loss.
Rich Carlos in to attempt the field goal, which would be his 3rd of the year, and he's perfect so far. Last week, he connected on a 51-yarder against San Diego. Gary Kubiak to hold. The spot will come at the 13-yard line. They're going to make it a 24-yard field goal attempt, as we'll bring a new football into play right now. The rain has stopped dramatically here this afternoon. It was really coming down before the game, and it appears to have brightened up. They've had the lights on all morning long here at Arrowhead Stadium. 3-0 Kansas City. Denver had a touchdown call back as Vance Johnson stepped out of bounds, came back in, made the catch. Offsetting penalties on the play, wiped the play out. Now we watch Carlos for the tie. And it's good. 24-yard field goal by Rich Carlos. 3 for 3 on the season, and the game is even at 3 apiece for Kansas City. 57 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. James Saxon, who's been a starter at fullback, gets the touchdown, or gets the kickoff return back out over the 38 to the 39-yard line. And Rich Carlos, the kicker, is in on the coverage. A 28-yard return by Saxon.
The rest of the coverage wasn't there. I don't know whether they didn't expect a high kick to the right, but Denver's kickoff coverage team didn't get over to that side of the field at all.
A reminder to our viewers that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. Here's James Saxon. As I said, in the first 2 games, he started at fullback with Paul Palmer, and they had a very tiny backfield. Today, on the kickoff return of 28 yards, gives Kansas City good field position out at their own 39-yard line. 3-3 tie, closing seconds, first quarter. Palmer over the 40, out to the 41-yard line. Simon Fletcher, the left outside linebacker, is in on the tackle, along with Mark Haynes for Denver.
Simon Fletcher just wouldn't have any of the blocking that time. He decided to stop that play, and he just stood the blocker straight up, fought him off, and made the tackle. I asked Coach Reeves yesterday what players have been playing the best for him on defense, and Fletcher was one of the fellas he pointed out.
DeBerg over to the sidelines right now as the first quarter is going to run out. Kansas City still not able to put a touchdown up on the board, but they've played inspired defense, giving up some big plays to Elway. Yeah, Denver 3, Kansas City 3. I'm Jim Donovan along with Joe Namath. Happy to have you for this AFC Western Division rivalry. Big sense here in this ball game, a lot of electricity, and so far Steve DeBerg getting the start for the Chiefs, moving them a little bit.
DeBerg's played smartly. He hasn't made the mistakes, the turnovers. Denver hasn't stopped the Kansas City offense yet. Kansas City's just stopped themselves.
They really have, with some drops and some highly thrown passes by DeBerg. He's 2 for 7 for only 17 yards. But, Joe, would you say he's the kind of quarterback that once he gets the touch going that he can get on fire?
Oh, he's a good passer. He's proven that over the years. He's just been in places that he hasn't had a chance to continue to play because of other quarterbacks and lousy teams.
And there are your first quarter numbers. Chiefs rushing the ball a little better than the Broncos. Broncos have been in 3rd and long a lot. Kansas City's played the run well defensively and the time of possession. So here we go, quarter number 2 from Arrowhead. The rain has stopped completely now, and that's to the liking of the thousands here. They expected over 70 for this game. Most of them have showed up. DeBerg across the middle, and it is caught out over the 45-yard line. Mike Harden in on the tackle. Stephon Page makes the catch. He has the only touchdown for Kansas City this season. It came last week against Seattle.
Steve DeBerg finding his open receiver, and boy, what a hit Mike Harden put on Stephon Page. Now there's Steve DeBerg where he's been, and some pretty good quarterbacks that he was replaced by, I might add.
So now you wonder who will come here and join the Kansas City Chiefs. Troy Aikman out of UCLA, Rodney Peete out of USC. 3rd down 1. The Chiefs 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. And they're in the shotgun on 3rd down and 1. From their own 48. The quick handoff to Palmer. He won't get it there, and he won't get it at all. As Denver sensed that they were not going to throw out of the shotgun, they were going to run, and Palmer got nowhere. Jim Ryan and Simon Fletcher in on the tackle along with Andre Townsend.
Well, it's been my question here is why the Chiefs draft a running back that weighs 181 pounds as the #1 draft choice. Palmer's not going to run over anyone. He's going to have to try and run around him, and his durability has to be questioned too.
Frank Gans looking on. Doesn't like having to give up that football. Kelly Goodburn is in for the 3rd punt of the day for him. Kevin Clark is standing back at his 10-yard line for the Broncos. Goodburn going for the sidelines, doesn't get it there. And here comes Clark. Up to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by 23, Greg Hill. Sidney Johnson was in there too. Only a 37-yard punt by Goodburn. 7-yard return. Elway back with the ball on Sunday number 3 from Arrowhead Stadium. AFC Western Division battle between the Denver Broncos and Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos 1-1. The Chiefs 0-2. This one's tied 3-3 here in the second quarter. John Elway, 1st and 10 for the Broncos at their own 27-yard line. After a punt return by Kevin Clark. Vance Johnson has been a busy guy, number 82 in motion. Elway straight back to Winder, and not much there. He's chased out by Lewis Cooper. After the catch by Winder, he goes out of bounds over on the Denver sideline. Not too much room after they make the catches. Kansas City has good penetration by those linebackers, filling the holes.
And good coverage downfield as well by Albert Lewis. John Elway wanted to get the ball deeper to his wide receivers, but there just wasn't anyone open, and so he dropped it off to the short receiver.
Nothing on that last play. It is 2nd down and 10. Teal and Johnson stretch out as wide receivers on the same side of the field. The backfield splits as we look at Elway. He's looking at a tough secondary to throw against. 2nd and 10, a little delay. Here comes Winder. Look at all the Chiefs. That is called game tackling. Cofield makes the tackle. Kevin Ross comes up from the corner to help out. They were all there.
Well, they should have all been there. It took a week and a half to get outside that time. I know Tony wasn't going full speed this time. Or Winder, excuse me. This is just taking too long now. Let's just slow down and try to get outside here. And Cofield made an excellent play. Winder saw Hackett coming from the inside and chose to go outside. And just good defensive play that time.
And Mike Bell threw his blocker right into the way of Winder. Denver on 3rd down. 3 for 5. They're 3rd and 10 right now. 4 wide receivers in for Elway. Mike Bell trying to get in from the outside. He can't. The catch is made short of the 1st down, out over the 30-yard line. Sam Grady makes the catch. Let's go for an NFL live update to New York. Thank you, Gail. 12:19 left to go. Second quarter. Game tied 3-3. Good defense there by the Kansas City Chiefs. David Hollis is back deep. Mike Curran in to punt it away. See the numbers on him. Second quarter here at Arrowhead. Dry right now. Rained all morning. Actually turning out to be a pretty nice afternoon. The Chiefs drawn off as they jump over across the line of scrimmage on 4th down. And Joe, if it's against Kansas City, I think Denver's going to end up with a 1st down. We'll check and see.
Oh, it'll be a big gift for him, especially since the receiver on the last play didn't get enough yardage for the 1st down. A basic error for a receiver, not getting enough yardage.
Start. Illegal snap. Center.
No. It's a break the other way. Illegal snap on the center. Keith Bishop, who snaps on punting situations. So they'll move it back 5 yards. Now we'll take it back to the 28-yard line. And Haran will punt it away again. It's 4th and 9. Kansas City must have been saying, oh, heavens, we might have given this one away. But instead, Bishop had the move the football and an illegal snap. Hollis standing back deep for the Chiefs inside his 30-yard line. Bad punt. Let's see what kind of roll. Not much of a roll, and the Chiefs want to get out of there. They will get very good field position out over their own 40-yard line as Haran completely mishit that one. 3-3 your score. 11:34 left to go here in the 1st half. Can DeBerg get the Chiefs offense going? They're hanging in there against the Broncos. 11:34 left in the 1st half. Tie game. Steve DeBerg chopping at the bit to get it going. offensively. There's your quarterback comparison through a quarter and a half. Elway with 1 interception. That was a zippity bang play on a carom shot that Duron Cherry ended up with the pickoff. And DeBerg only 3 for 8. Only a 29-yard punt by Mike Horan of Denver. And look at the field position that Kansas City starts with. And field position has been a problem in their first 2 games. They have been pinned back deep in their own territory. An average starting field position of their own 23-yard line, but here they are out over the 40. Palmer, Moriarty make up the backfield. Back upstairs, wide open, Stephon Page. Up the sideline, into Denver territory, out of bounds, close to the 40-yard line, and I mean, he was wide open.
I don't know what Mike Haynes was doing on coverage that time. He must have taken his eye off Stephon Page and then went the wrong ways. Page broke his pattern off and came back to the outside. Here you see excellent pass protection. Now, passing on first down, in my opinion, is the best time to throw. Good pass protection. And here's Page wide open. We don't see Haynes anywhere around. The reason passing on first down is good, teams play the run on first down.
15 yards on the pass play. DeBerg might be checking off right now. Standing up. Making sure everybody has the call. Palmer, Moriarty moving up closer. Play clock down to 3. They get it off. Alfredo Roberts drops at the tight end at the 36-yard line. Coverage there by Jim Ryan, the right outside linebacker out of William & Mary, 10-year veteran, but the rookie from Miami who says, I can catch, just don't say I'm a blocking tight end, didn't back it up there.
And the Chiefs have been saying that Roberts has been the most pleasant surprise of training camp in this season, an 8th-round draft choice. He's been catching the ball well, but this last time I can see why the Miami Hurricanes didn't throw to him often.
2nd down 10. Wide receivers on the same side of the field. Carson and Page. Palmer on the carry. Short yardage. Simon Fletcher and Sean Knight. Knight and Fletcher trip him up. Now the scoreboard. Jets still ahead. 14-3. Cincinnati on the board. And Buffalo leads over New England. Miami, big over Green Bay. As Marino's having a great day. Just threw a touchdown pass to Farrell Edmond. And Detroit over New Orleans. Phoenix leads Tampa Bay. 3rd down conversions, 0 for 4 for Kansas City, and that's what they look at now. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 8. 5 defensive backs in the lineup for the Denver Broncos. Out of the shotgun. Big rush. Unloads, and it's caught. Emil Harry makes the catch inside the 30-yard line. That's good for a 1st down, and they convert on a 3rd down conversion play.
Steve DeBerg, he's an intelligent quarterback. He reads the blitz. He gets rid of the ball just in time on this play before number 27, Kevin Clark, coming from the right side of your screen, nails him. Perfect timing pass, but it was because DeBerg was able to read that blitz ahead of time.
Emil Harry in his 2nd year out of Stanford, now over to the Kansas City sideline. But his catch and staying in bounds gets Kansas City a 1st down inside the Denver 30. DeBerg sets Carson in motion. And pitches to Moriarty. And the fullback out of Notre Dame goes up near the 26-yard line. Tackled by Greg Cragen, the nose tackle.
Talking with DeBerg yesterday, and I know if he were calling his own plays, he'd be throwing about 75% of the time. He loves to throw the football, and with this running game of Kansas City's hurting because of Okoye and Hurd being out, DeBerg would love to pass the ball more often.
Paul Palmer goes out as a wide receiver as you look at DeBerg come up to the line of scrimmage on 2nd down and 8. James Saxon is into the backfield now, number 21 at fullback. Across the middle, and it's caught. Carlos Carson with a move up the middle. 10. Down to the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, Chiefs.
You see why he wants to pass it more often. He's getting good protection from his offensive line, and Carson was wide open in the middle of the field. On the replay, you'll see a ground level shot. Watch the offensive pass protection this time. They don't get back there, don't get close, and he unloads the ball quickly. Castile wasn't close enough to Carson to make the play that time.
And it is Jeremiah Castile who is down on the turf here at Arrowhead right now as the Kansas City players get a refreshment break, but Castile is down. And it looked as though he got hit by his own man when he went down. Chiefs with their big offensive play, their biggest of the day so far, on the catch, and then a fine slippery move by Carson takes the ball down inside the Denver 10-yard line as we check out Jeremiah Castile with 9:37 remaining here in the first half. The game is tied at 3 apiece. Let's pick up Carson. There's Castile, Joe, 28. Watch him go down, and then his own player come right over the top.
Yeah, I can't really see what happened to him that time. His own player did hit him, but I wouldn't guess what the injury is. I just hope that it's not serious and he'll be back in a play or two.
Still down now on the Denver trainers hovering over the Denver 10. Carson, who made that last touch to put them in this position, is in motion. They give it to Paul Palmer, and he gets short of the 5-yard line. The ball skips loose. The Broncos say they have it, but I believe the play was whistled dead, and it was. Mike Harden says, no, I've got the ball. I did not hear a whistle, but there was one blown.
Down by contact, second down.
Down by contact. Well, here's a look at it for all you fans in Denver. Let's see if he did fumble the ball, in fact. Oh, boy, I tell you what. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if we're going to have another look at that by the officials. It looked like a free ball to me.
No look, Joe, as the Chiefs are quickly up to the line of scrimmage. 8:29 to go, first half. Game tied 3-3. Kansas City trying to get in for their second touchdown of the season. To Berg, and there it is. Touchdown, Chiefs. Carlos Carson.
What do you do when you have your #1 cornerback hurt out of the game? You go right to the substitute, pick on him with your good receiver, Carlos Carson. They went right after Kevin Clark in the game for Jeremiah Castile. Clark slipped, fell to the turf, and left Carson wide open.
8:21 to go in the half. Carson had a good series of plays there with a couple of big catches thrown to him by Steve DeBerg, and the touchdown pass. And the kick good by Lowry has the Kansas City Chiefs in the lead here in the second quarter. Kansas City 10, Denver plays. Ensuing kickoff. Short, very short. And Ken Bell with a head of steam takes it, but very good coverage by the Chiefs to recover from what was a short kickoff by Lowry. Angelo Snipes is in on the tackle. 52 is there. You see his shoulder pads coming out from his shirt. He's pretty excited. I think they came out from the celebration after the hit rather than on the hit. And there's a happy man, Steve DeBerg, who got the Chiefs into the end zone. It is Bell, Leonard Griffin, and Bill Moss. The front three. There's the scoring drive. DeBerg to Carson. Has a nice ring to it for Kansas City fans. 10-3, Chiefs. Denver back to work. Dorsett and Winder in the backfield. Out of the eye. Tony Dorsett is 8 yards back in that backfield. Can he read and find? Oh, he slipped out of one tackle away from Griffin. And he goes out over the 30-yard line. Up to the 31. Aaron Pearson finally had him, but Leonard Griffin also had him. And then finally watched number 33 slip away and go on for more yardage.
You know, I noticed the Vance Johnson hurt his foot or so on the last series of downs, and right now Rick Massey is in the game, number 85 for the Broncos, and this may very well affect their passing attack adversely. They ran a draw play that time, but Massey has replaced Vance Johnson at wide receiver.
Johnson was having a good day. Second down and 4 yards to go. In motion, Orson Mobley, the tight end. Back to Dorsett. First down. Flag is down as Dorsett goes out over the 40-yard line. Thrown in the direction, Joe, of holding.
Yeah, you know, it's been said these officials can call holding on every play practically. The guys get their arms out. Sometimes they get stuck. It's not an intentional hold very often. I hope we can see what this one is, but the offensive linemen, they get a short deck dealt to them because they can get this called on them anytime.
Well, the Broncos get it called on them here, and we'll pick up the specifics.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 64 offense, still second down.
You see, on a call like that, a guy gets his arms out to block. The defender sometimes gets his head down and sticks his head right into his hands, you know, and the offensive guy gets called for it. It's unintentional, but you get the penalty anyway.
Billy Bryan, the center of the Denver Broncos, nailed there. Dan Reeves. Oh, boy, he's hot. On the Broncos sideline. Second down, 14. Elway sets him down, ready to go. The eyes of John Elway. Little bit of movement, causes flags. Elway running. Everybody holds your breath in Denver when he takes off like that as he goes out over the 25 and then slides safely down to the 29-yard line. And safely is the key. Now the penalty call. Going to back him up some more, Joe.
Yep, that offensive back moved a little bit. He wasn't set for a full second before the snap. And thus they get the penalty. That was a good play by Elway. He made a gainer on the run. It would have been a short third down
Illegal
situation.
Motion. Number 33 offense. Offside. Number 63 defense. Offsetting fouls.
Well, Dorsett moved. Illegal motion. And Bill Moss, the nose tackle, 63. There you see him. An infraction on him, so that will wipe out the play, and we'll do second down and 14 all over again.
I could never figure out why these guys that are lined up right by the football jump off sides. I see Joe Klecko doing a lot of it in Indianapolis. The ball's right in front of you. I mean, you have to see the ball move, and then you go. Why be offside?
Denver can't get any momentum going right now. Second down and 14. They've been flagged on the last couple. 6.5 remaining first half. They're down by 7. Elway going long down the sideline. Trying to run underneath that one is Ricky Nattiel, and it's incomplete. Albert Lewis on the coverage for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mike Bell and Bill Moss were right in the backfield, pressuring Elway on that pass play.
That was it. The pressure on Elway forced him to throw it a little early. Lewis was back there with Nattiel, but Nattiel did run by him just for a couple of steps. And here's Moss. Watch his work, number 63 in the center of the line. He plays off the center. Now, when you get pressure up the gut like that, it's a problem for any quarterback. Not only has to throw the ball early, but he's going to take a beating as well.
I see number 82, Vance Johnson, just getting a ride out from the Denver locker room, back out onto the sideline. So maybe a take job, and he's okay. He's not in the lineup on third down and 14. 6:28 to go in the half. Plenty of time. Now the rush. Still plenty of time. And wide open. Sam Grady makes the catch inside Kansas City territory at the 49-yard line. That's what happens when he gets that much time.
That's exactly it. There's not a defensive back in the league that can stay with a quality wide receiver for 6 or 7 seconds. Grady, good speed, breaks it to the inside. Now watch, he'll plant and cut to the outside. He'll lead Ross right here. Ross can't get his feet around. He took his eyes off the receiver just a little bit. And Grady, a fast track man. What did he do in the track days there, Jim?
Silver medal behind Carl Lewis in the 100 meters in L.A. Gold medal in the relays. Teaming up with Lewis and the other speedsters. So in the Olympic spirit, he comes up with a big play. Look at Karts blocking to the outside, giving Elway time. The tight end, Mobley, at the Kansas City 30-yard line and a first down. Kevin Porter, the free safety, up to make the tackle.
Good pass protection once again by this Bronco front. They keep giving John Elway that much time. He's going to get them on the board. Mobley, big target, number 89. Elway goes back, and he'll find Mobley over the middle of the field. But look at his pass protection. No one's even close to Elway at this point.
Joe, on the outside there, Keith Karts, the right guard, was really pass blocking well. 19 yards on the pickup. On the connection, Elway to Mobley. First and 10 at the 30-yard line. 3 wide receivers in for the Broncos. A flag is down 2 as Winder carries inside the 25-yard line. We'll check out the flag. Denver's been penalized a lot on this drive so far. Tackle made by 96 Aaron Pearson.
Well, sometimes after a big play like Mobley just made, a concentration leads you a little bit, and you don't concentrate on the snap count as much. That time it looked that Mobley appeared to be in motion that time.
Injured player down on the field was indeed the player that made the tackle. The left inside linebacker, Aaron Pearson. Ball is at the 35-yard line after the penalty. Todd Howard is in for Aaron Pearson, who comes off the field but appears to be okay. First and 15 after the Mobley penalty. Elway straight back. Dorsett lining up. He makes the catch. 35, 30. Look at him read and move down to the 20-yard line and close to a first down. 15-yard pickup for Tony Dorsett. He did a lot of it with his eyes.
And his speed, I might add. Go ahead, Tony D. He didn't look like he lost a step on this replay. He catches the little flat pass, and he just takes off across field, always keeping his feet under him, keeping square to the players. To the left of your screen, you'll see Dorsett take the ball. Now watch him accelerate. Right here, he accelerates, then breaks back up the middle for the good yardage.
Deron Cherry finally said, enough of these blinding moves. I got to bring you down. And he did after a 15-yard pickup. Elway starting to get hot now with the arm. He's 9 for 15 for 136 yards as Dorsett waits for the next play. 1st and 10. It was good for a first down play. At the 20. Chiefs lead by 7. Denver trying to go in for the tying score with 4.5 remaining here in the half. A simple pitch play. And there goes Winder inside the 20, up near the 16-yard line. Lewis Cooper in on the tackle. Cooper having a good game in that Kansas City defense.
Oh, yeah, Cooper's a good player. He's in on the tackle. In the meantime, it's 3 or 4 yards downfield. Actually, he had a good block put on him and was knocked off the line of scrimmage, but he recovered well.
Dorsett gave him the block, so it wasn't Winder blocking for Dorsett. It was Dorsett blocking for Winder. It works both ways in that Denver backfield. At the 16-yard line, Rick Massey out wide to the bottom of your screen, 85. Natil out to the top of the screen, 84. Backs wide split. 2nd and 6. Elway shooting it. Dorsett turning. Can't hang on the back end of the end line. Aaron Pearson, who was outstretched on the turf a couple of plays ago, got some extra gas over on the sideline, comes in and covers Tony Dorsett well out of the backfield.
Aaron Dantianto Pearson. He has the speed. We talked about it earlier. Dorsett simply runs a seam pattern. You'll see him on the right side of your screen coming right down the middle, and Pearson, 96, just a step behind him, but gets his hand up in time to either deflect it or cause a vision problem for Dorsett.
And there he is, Aaron Pearson. Sidney Johnson into the lineup along with J.C. Pearson. 6 defensive backs in there for the Chiefs. Big play, 3rd down, 6. 3:45 left in the half. Is it open up the middle? What a call by Elway as he dives inside the 10-yard line. They rule him down. As Hackett comes up with the football, he's already recovered a fumble here today. But they ruled that Elway was down. What a play by Elway.
Well, it's a quarterback draw all the way. The Chiefs vacated the middle with their defensive people other than their front 4 rushers right now, and John had the draw play called all the way. Dives forward smartly to pick up the first down. A very heads-up play by John Elway.
And you saw Hackett reaching in there to try and steal the ball away. Elway being joined in that offensive huddle now by Steve Sewell and Tony Dorsett. And Elway, still a little bit unclear about what they wanted to do, takes a Denver timeout. So they'll have 2 remaining with 2:59 remaining here in the first half, and he'll go back over to the sideline and talk with head coach Dan Reeves.
Well, it's got to be very important because these teams like to conserve their timeouts for the last 2 minutes or inside, but this is a very critical situation for the Broncos, and they don't want to be on opposite pages with the offense. Reeves and Elway need to be together with a full understanding of what to do right now.
They're going to bring Sammy Winder back in. And I notice in front of the Denver bench, Vance Johnson is trying to loosen up. He would like to get back in there, too, as he was having a great day. Coming up
at all, but it was highly unlikely that they would win this game today, or the game with Houston. And it's not over. I keep saying it's not over yet, Jim.
So far, 8 plays, 67 yards for the Broncos. Frank Gans hoping that his defense can turn in some big plays. It's 1st and goal inside the 10. Mobley in motion. Dorsett to the 5. Bangs. Scores. Touchdown, Denver. What a run by Dorsett.
Tony Dorsett on the carry.
8-yard touchdown run by TD, Tony Dorsett. He scored on a 21-yard run last week. And this one was just about as far when you consider the hits he had to take.
Well, he has the speed to get outside to outrun Pearson. Then he gets some blocking by Natil down there and just slips in between the two tacklers. Good effort by Ricky Natil to free Tony Dorsett.
And that is knowing where you are. When he extended himself and pulling the ball across. Carlos to kick, Kubiak to hold. And this ball game is tied up with 2:52 left to go. Here in the first half, a 10-10 tie. Good ball game between the Broncos and Chiefs here at Arrowhead. There's Tony Dorsett with a smile. Likes it here in Denver. Let's get a look at Tony Dorsett again as he carries it in.
And he comes right toward us this time. You'll see with Tony's speed, he's able to elude number 96, Aaron Pearson, the linebacker. And then Ricky Natil will get out in front just long enough to keep Ross out of the play so Tony can find the crack and fall into the end zone, fighting forward for those extra yards.
And then finally, when Ross was squared up to make the hit, Dorsett had a head of steam and banged him, and Ross wasn't set up to push him back. Instead, he was pushed back by Dorsett. And the celebration.
Yeah, I think they're all happy right there.
2:52 left first half. Tony Dorsett on the sideline. On that Denver side, Joe, it just seems so different to see him in a new uniform.
It is. It's strange. Without the star on his helmet. But again, I'm about used to it by now. I saw Denver play in the preseason a couple of times, and I just enjoy and always have enjoyed watching Dorsett perform. It's a treat to see him out here today.
You saw David Hollis, and now you look at Dorsett again. As Rich Carlos gets it away in a 10-10 tie. Good kickoff by Carlos, 2 yards deep. Hollis with the ball for the Chiefs. Won't get to the 20, and a flag is thrown down. Flag down on the run back by David Hollis. Clock showing 2:42 left. Ken Bell in on the tackle for the Denver Broncos. Jerry Seaman will sort it out now and tell us what the penalty is on Kansas City.
Now, these are the kind of penalties a struggling team doesn't need. Tony Dorsett, another touchdown, closer to Jim Brown on that all-time rushing list.
Illegal block during the return. Number 53 receiving team. First down.
But I'll tell you something, Joe. 9 plays and a big play. Elway to Sam Grady. Got them a major first down along the drive. Got them into Kansas City territory. And then finally they got it down. Elway provided some running plays himself with that quarterback draw play that got them first and goal. And then Dorsett. The all-time rushers. Dorsett moved ahead of Franco Harris last week, and he's getting very close to Jim Brown. The ball back just inside the Kansas City 10-yard line, so DeBerg can't get too fancy down here. In a 10-10 tie late in the first half, but he'll throw. Palmer, second-year man out of Temple, makes the catch. Out over the 15, close to the 17-yard line. Carl Mecklenburg in on the tackle.
Berg, very intelligent quarterback, able to read the secondary and come to the open man, audible eyes, very successfully.
Jeremiah Castile has been taken to the hospital to be checked out. He is conscious. Vance Johnson back on the Denver sideline. They took x-rays of him, and they came out negative. He's okay. Second down, 2. After an 8-yard pass play, DeBerg to Palmer. 2:04 left to go here in the first half. Flags down again. And we're getting a lot of this late in the half. Check this. Moves the ball back to the 12-yard line, and we come up to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. In a tie game, 10-10. Kansas City jumped out 3-0. Broncos tied it. Chiefs went ahead 10-3. Dorsett has tied it 10-10 with 2 to go in the half. All even up 10-10. Kansas City looking for their first win of the season. Denver trying to make it 2 in a row and their first road game of the year. Jim Donovan and Joe Namath with you at Arrowhead Stadium. Steve DeBerg brings the Kansas City Chiefs out. They have 3 timeouts remaining. They also have second down and 7 after they were penalized 5 yards on their last play. Deep in their own territory. Ball back at the 12. And DeBerg is back. And he throws, and Stephon Page had it, dropped it. Let's see if it's going to be ruled a fumble. The Broncos jumping around for the football, and it looks as though they're going to give the ball to Denver. As Mecklenburg has it. And we'll wait for the ruling. Referee says Bronco ball.
Well, I'll tell you, I just don't think he held it that long. I hope we have a replay of this. I'm sure the officials up in the booth will be looking at it. Here you see him crossing the screen from your right to your left. Number 83, Stephon Page. Let's see if he holds the ball long enough. Well, I don't know whether he had total control of that ball or not. I'm certainly happy I don't have to make the call.
Mecklenburg made the hit and then came in after the loose ball was dribbling around, and he scoops up the ball and recovers it. Fumble recovery, and the big grin over on the Denver sideline. And 83, Stephon Page is still feeling the effects of getting his bell rung by Mecklenburg. Here it is again, Joe.
Let's see if Stephon Page holds the ball long enough or has control of it. I don't believe he had control of that ball long enough for it to be a complete pass.
It looked as though he was starting to bring it back into his chest.
Well, I saw it squirt out of his arms on the top, and it was a terrific hit by Mecklenburg. That man seems to show up around the ball all the time. There's the replay booth calling back down to give their opinion of the play.
And your replay official today is Dave Kamansky. 5 defensive backs in for the Broncos. They think the Chiefs will go for it in a passing situation. They ran out of this formation the last time that they were in it on a 3rd down. As DeBerg gave it to Palmer on a 3rd down and 1. Moriarty and Palmer in the backfield with quarterback Steve DeBerg. And he'll put it up with lots of time going for Palmer. On a deflection, he's got it. Out to the 38-yard line and a 1st down. Kevin Porter brings him down. Kevin Clark brings him down, rather, a 25-yard pass play.
Kind of like hitting your tee shot in golf out of bounds, having it hit a rock and bounce back in the play. This should have been an interception, and DeBerg got a good break.
That will be a 40-second timeout.
Berg is wide open and smartly gets out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Mark Haynes chased him out, but Palmer saw the sideline and knew what to do as time is running out here in the half.
DeBerg is picking his receivers out superbly. He's throwing to the right man every time so far. Early in the game he did. There's Frank Gans. He's got to be pleased with the way DeBerg is reading the defenses and going to the right receivers, as well as with his pass protection.
The ball at the 44-yard line. 2nd down 4, 6 yards on that last gain by Paul Palmer. Stephon Page is back into the lineup. Emil Harry is the other wide receiver. DeBerg looking. Moriarty catches. And is inside Denver territory for a 1st down. Knocked down at the 46-yard line. Jim Ryan is over there along with Bruce Plummer. 1:12. It's running. DeBerg has them set up quickly. 10-10 time. Caught by Stephon Page at the 40-yard line. Can't get near the sideline and is immediately pulled down by Mark Haynes. And the clock continues to run. Now we're underneath 50 seconds. Trying to get in field goal range anyway. Frank Gans looking to the clock. The 12-year veteran, DeBerg, working the clock pretty well so far. Throwing to the sidelines. Trying to get it there for Stephon Page, and it's incomplete. Mark Haynes was right on his back. In fact, tried to reach in and knock the ball away.
Good coverage that time by Mark Hayes. Page tried to get around. It looked like he lost his footing a little bit. Didn't make a good cut to the outside, probably because Mark Haynes was all over him that time.
Nick Lowry warming up on the sidelines. 1 for 1 today. 3 for 3 on the season. 37 seconds remaining here in the 1st half. Up to the line of scrimmage. Here come the Chiefs. Ball is right at the Denver 40-yard line. 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Carson, Page, and Emil Harry. 3 wide receivers in. And DeBerg out of the gun with both backs in the backfield. A lot of time. Throwing for Carson. Up in the air at the 10-yard line. Knocked away. Tyrone Braxton. Good coverage there to knock it down for the Broncos.
Just when we were talking about DeBerg going to the right receiver each time, he throws one with 4 white jerseys around the ball.
Now you've got 4th down and 4 yards to go, and you're a little bit too far out for a field goal attempt, so they will punt. Here's the look at that incompleted pass again.
That was a little underthrow, but had the ball been over top, number 48 was in position, Randy Robbins, to make the interception. They have to punt the ball right now. It's too far for the field goal attempt, and you don't want to give Denver ball possession on the 40-yard line.
Kelly Goodburn is in, and he will punt it away. And Denver calls a timeout now with 30 seconds remaining. They don't want to see the clock run down on them. They feel they have a chance to move it a little bit with number 7, John Elway, at the controls.
The other thing Kansas City has the option of doing is watching to see how Denver lines up on this punt play. This is a good opportunity. If they get an opportunity, they'll fake the punt and try and get the first down and some yardage. But it will depend on how Denver covers the Kansas City receivers.
10-10 tie. Closing seconds of the first half. 30 seconds remaining. Kelly Goodburn, the Kansas City punter. Let's take a look at our first half report card so far. There's Elway throwing the football. Dorsett with a great touchdown run and score. Vance Johnson's been sidelined, of course, but should report back in, and the Chiefs. DeBerg has picked it up after a 2-for-7 start.
Well, Palmer and Dorsett, both of them are not gaining much yardage on the ground. Both of these defenses have really cut down the rushing game for Denver and Kansas City.
Mike Harden is back deep for the Broncos. The first time we've seen that today as he stands back at his 10-yard line. Normally it's been Kevin Clark or Wilhite before he went out injured. Goodburn would love to get it out inside the 20-yard line, and he's going to the corner. It hits at the 1, and it goes into the end zone. Touchback. Ball comes out to the 20. Waiting to give you all the scores and highlights from Sunday number 3 as the Broncos send it right into the line of scrimmage, and they will head off. So will the Chiefs here at Arrowhead, knotted at 10-10 after they've played the first half. Here, 10-10 tie. Chiefs will get it first. David Hollis on his way back gets hit hard by Ken Bell of the Broncos. He drilled him at the 20-yard line, and he goes about another yard out. Ken Bell, third year out of Boston College, with the big special teams hit to start the second half. And there comes Steve DeBerg back out onto the field, ready to start the second half. And the quarterback matchup today. Remember, DeBerg kind of tutored Elway along, made sure he was ready to go in Denver, played a couple of years there. And now he's here making his first start with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's had a few other stops, too, along the road. First and 10, Kansas City. As we start the second half, they go to number 26, Paul Palmer. And Palmer goes out over the left side of the offensive line, out to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Jim Ryan and Carl Mecklenburg in on the tackle, and Greg Craig in the nose tackle. All there shutting down Paul Palmer. And we'll see if Kansas City goes back maybe to try and establish that run game here early in the second half.
Well, I don't know why they'd want to do that. They've been successful passing the ball. DeBerg's on target for most part of the day, and he's been getting time to throw. So I'd stick with the passing game.
Stephon Page, who was injured late in the first half, is back in there. He's at the top of the screen. 83, 88 at the bottom. Carlos Carson. Second down and 6 after a 4-yard gain. Moriarty blocking for Palmer. He has the corner. He's to the 35 and a first down. Mark Haynes up from the corner to make the tackle. Rulon Jones was on the chase, too, along with Sean Knight. Nice run by Palmer, his best run of the day.
That's right. It was a good run and a good blocking bit done here on Carl Mecklenburg, number 77. You see Mecklenburg on the right side of your screen trying to get over there, but Tom Ball, the offensive center, is able to cut his feet out from underneath him.
And a fine lead block by the fullback, Moriarty. First and 10, Chiefs. Ball on the 37, their own 37, game tie, 10 apiece. Palmer, Moriarty set in behind. DeBerg, Palmer, busy man, isn't he, here at the start of the second half? And a lot of traffic there. Rick Dennison, Freddie Gilbert there for the stop for the Denver defense as they clogged that play up on Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer hasn't had much success at all trying the middle of this defensive front. I know they'd like to keep them at home so they can run the sweeps and set them up, but I'm afraid I'd have to go to something besides a run up the gut on first down.
Ball on the 38, only a gain of 1. Palmer's going to come out wide now, leaving DeBerg in the backfield with Larry Moriarty. 5 defensive backs countered by Dan Reeves in the Denver defensive backfield. Moriarty checking up as they watch Mecklenburg come up, show a little blitz. Now he drops back on 2nd and 9. Great catch by Emil Harry, and DeBerg laid it right in there out near the 49-yard line. Jim Ryan makes the tackle, but Emil Harry makes the catch and a first down for Kansas City.
Perfectly thrown pass by Steve DeBerg. The timing was just right, and Emil Harry made it a good catch. All hands this time as he reaches out to his left. Watch DeBerg. He'll find Emil Harry up on the top right-hand side of your screen, and you'll see Harry make a good catch with all hands right here.
And, Joe, as we mentioned, DeBerg is having all the time he wants back there in that pocket to set up. There's Harry over on the sideline. 2 catches on the day, 19 yards. First and 10. Kansas City moving on their first drive. Second half. Again, a lot of time. And there's the catch by Alfredo Roberts, the rookie out of Miami, and another Kansas City first down to the Denver 39-yard line. And again, Jim Ryan, the outside linebacker, has to bring him down. 11-yard pass play.
Well, Alfredo atoned for that first drop that he had early in the second quarter of the game to show us that he can catch the football, and he's a load to bring down as well once he gets moving upfield with it.
Nice flow here by the Kansas City offense. They came out running. Then DeBerg spotted some passes in there. And now he's thrown 2 successive completions. Back to the run. Palmer with a burst of speed inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. Mike Harden, the free safety, makes the tackle for Denver. And also by Randy Robbins. So the secondary had to come up and make the hit on Palmer.
Oh, I think DeBerg did a fine job of going on a quick count here. I think they cut the defense a little bit off guard. Mecklenburg flows to the right, and he just gets a good block thrown on him by number 60, Ingram. And I don't think that Denver was quite ready for that.
8 yards on the run by Palmer. Second down, short. 2nd and 2. Carson in motion. So they go to the bruising fullback Moriarty. Almost lost the football as he was coming through the line of scrimmage, but held on down to the 30-yard line. Cragen and Mecklenburg team up for the Denver stop.
Mecklenburg is always around the football, at least when they're not throwing it deep. Here he'll get in here to help Cragen on the stop. Cragen, number 71, gets the first hit, and then Mecklenburg helps out. But it was Cragen's initial hit that stopped Moriarty.
And yesterday, Steve DeBerg told us that there is the Mecklenburg rule, right? Every time you come up to the line of scrimmage, sight wherever number 77 is.
That's right. They got out Mecklenburg rule because the blocking assignments can change depending on where he lines up.
Clock running, 10-12 left, third quarter. Third down, less than 1. DeBerg sails over the top and has the first down. They had the I formation and all kinds of tight ends in there, thinking Moriarty, maybe Palmer to the outside, but it was DeBerg keeping it, and a first down for Kansas City, and the Chiefs fans like the change at quarterback right now.
Oh, well, Kansas City's just doing beautifully. Right now, there wasn't a middle linebacker in there. DeBerg saw that, so he just takes it right over the top, knowing that there's not a man there, and gets the first down.
Boy, and you can watch the way the Chiefs are firing out of that offensive huddle. They are ready to go. Now's DeBerg's chance. That's what he was saying yesterday. And today, he's performing very well. But look out! Jim Ryan's got it. From the outside, Ryan in there. DeBerg never saw him until contact was made.
Ryan came hard from the outside and just ran right around the left offensive tackle. I'm not sure if Lutz was in the game that time at left offensive tackle. Watch on the left side of your screen. You'll see Jim Ryan, number 50, come clean to get to DeBerg. No chance that time.
Now, do you feel that? I mean, do you feel it before contact if there's someone ready to knock on your door?
Sometimes you can feel it, certainly. I don't think DeBerg knew it that time, though.
Loss of 9, second down, 19, 6 defensive backs in the lineup for the Broncos. Snap coming from the Denver 37. DeBerg across the middle, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. Carlos Carson makes the catch and goes down right at the 30. Tyrone Braxton and Mike Harden on the tackle for the Broncos.
DeBerg satisfied to go to Carson and pick up about half the necessary yardage for the first down. This time we'll get a look at number 77, Carl Mecklenburg, utilizes a down lineman on the outside trying to rush the passer. But John Alt, number 76, going at 6'7" and 290 pounds, able to ride him to the outside.
Big third down play for the Chiefs, 3rd and 12. Ball on the Denver 30. DeBerg barking out, blocking assignments as he brought them up. He's throwing for Page, got it! Inside the 10, down at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal, Chiefs.
Stephon Page. He wasn't drafted by anyone in '83 when he came out of school. Watch this pass protection by the Kansas City offensive line. They funnel the defenders to the outside. DeBerg steps up into the pocket, smartly into the middle of the pocket, and finds Stephon Page wide open in the middle of the field.
12th play of the drive. That was a 22-yard pass play on 3rd and 12. 1st and goal at the 7. Moriarty and Palmer in the backfield. Carson Page, the wide receivers. Carson down the line in motion. Moriarty at the 5 and driven back. Andre Townsend stood Moriarty up straight, and that was a meeting of the bodies, wasn't it?
Andre Townsend won that one. I can't help but wonder what this Kansas City attack would be like if Okoye was in the backfield.
Remember, they are missing both Christian Okoye and Herman Hurd, both injured in the preseason. And we're on the sidelines watching practice yesterday trying to get better. But they're going with what they have now. Moriarty and Palmer, second and goal. Ball at the 5. Palmer in a wing-back position. Now goes in motion. DeBerg to Roberts. Can't get in at the 1. As he's tied up there by Simon Fletcher and Mark Haynes. There's a flag down. Roberts up limping just a bit. Flag is down. Chiefs are moving back, too. Here's the call from Jerry Seaman.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 58 offense. Still second down.
Second time it's been called today. Now once on Kansas City, once on Denver. And both times the center has been called. Ball gets the call.
Right in the middle of the screen, we may see what happens on the call. Number 58 got his hands in front, and I see a face mask, actually. It looks like it should have been called a face mask penalty.
Got it right there in the face mask of Greg Cragen. Moves them back just inside the Denver 20-yard line. Second down and goal. Again, they're all pointing their fingers at the Broncos, checking out who's coming in, possible blitz situations. DeBerg handles, and a rise snap, throws, and Page can't pull it in at the 9. Almost, but couldn't garner it in after he'd made a big catch a couple of plays ago to get them inside the 10-yard line. It will be third and goal from close to the 20-yard line.
Well, Page was wide open in the middle of the field, but he pulled up in a hook pattern, and DeBerg thought he was going another 2 steps, or else DeBerg simply misfired.
DeBerg in the Kansas City huddle. Low angle from Arrowhead Stadium. Third down conversions, and they'd love to put this one in, but to make it count, it's got to go all the way on third and goal into the end zone from the 20. Emil Harry's into the lineup now. Carson and Page are on the same side of the field on the bottom of your screen on third and goal. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Paul Palmer.
What a beautiful pass by Steve DeBerg. He just laid it up over top of the defense with the finest of touch right into the hands of Paul Palmer. Excellent pass by DeBerg.
Boy, don't you like it when they take the helmet off, Joe? You get the full effect of the smile.
Sure, we get to see who these guys are, what they look like.
Nick Lowry to attempt the extra point as Kansas City moves out in front. 16-10 with a chance to go up one more. Out of the hole to Bill Kenny. Got it. Paul Palmer comes up with a touchdown catch. And the Chiefs lead by 7. Off of the second half and marched 8 minutes and 56 seconds into the end zone on a third down and goal situation. Quarterback Steve DeBerg finds second-year running back Paul Palmer out of the backfield for a touchdown. And Kansas City leads the AFC champion Broncos 17-10. Standing back deep, Ken Bell is on the far side. Kevin Clark is on the near side as Nick Lowry has it ready to go. And Frank Gans likes the look of his offense starting off here in the second half. Lowry into the football. Denver's first possession of the second half. Great kick by Lowry. I think Bell better put that knee down, and he does. And it will come out to the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the Palmer-DeBerg connection as there you see the quarterback getting the smack. Arrowhead Stadium, everybody. Jim Donovan and Joe Namath. The Denver Broncos have been playing come from behind football all afternoon long, and they are forced to do it again. They trail 17-10, and they've been on the sidelines, their offense watching so far here in the second half. Dorsett climbs out of a couple of tackles, but only for a couple of yards. Neil Smith, the rookie defensive end, makes the tackle. Here's the scoring drive, 8:56. And the pass to Berg to Palmer.
Oh, boy, that is the best way to keep John Elway out of the attack, is to keep him off the field, and the defense just has to love this offensive effort by the Kansas City team and Steve DeBerg right now.
3 yards on the gain by Dorsett. Vance Johnson, 82, coming to the lower part of your screen, back in the lineup for the Broncos. Went out with a leg injury early. Dorsett and Sewell now in the backfield as Johnson comes in motion. 2nd and long. Elway flushed out of the pocket. Flushed to the sidelines. And Dino Hackett makes the hit on him as he goes out at the 28-yard line. Chased out by Lewis Cooper, but he then stayed in for another yard, and Hackett came over and finally ended the play.
Denver's blocking has been pretty good, but you have to give credit to that secondary of Kansas City. I mean, they're all over these receivers right now. That's Ricky Natil going downfield, and he's going to get covered by Albert Lewis, and Lewis is staying right with him and puts a little hit on him right now, knocks him out of bounds.
Broncos up to the line of scrimmage. There's Lewis. 3rd down and 4 for Denver. 4 defensive linemen in, 6 defensive backs in, 1 linebacker. It's Hackett on 3rd down. The rush, but he hangs in there, and it was almost picked off by Kevin Ross. Intended for Sam Grady, and Rick Massey was also in the same direction, and then Ross came in there and almost picked it off. It would have been the 2nd on the day for the Kansas City secondary. Listen to the Chiefs crowd applauding the defense.
Here's a look at the near side receivers. Now watch number 31, Kevin Ross, in the red jersey. He gets inside of Grady, almost makes the interception. He had better position to catch that pass than the receiver did that time.
David Hollis, who has been returning punts for Kansas City, is out injured right now. He has a sprained ankle. So Kittrick Taylor, a backup wide receiver, is standing back at his 30-yard line, ready to take the Mike Horan punt. Denver unable to get the first down. They'll punt it away. Good high punt by Horan. Here's Taylor. Chased back to his 20. Out close to the 35-yard line. Pat Kelly, the rookie tight end, makes the tackle. There's a flag down on the play on the near side of the field back at the Kansas City 20-yard line. We'll check that out. Kittrick Taylor showed a nice move and then had a wall of blockers out in front. A 56-yard punt by Horan, and right now standing at a 15-yard return by Taylor, but we checked the penalty. And it's against Kansas City. So that will move the field position back. 4:47 remaining. There you see 17, Steve DeBerg walking out onto the field.
Illegal block during the return. Number 45 receiving team. First down.
Sidney Johnson says, no, I didn't do anything wrong that time.
But he did, and Frank Gann, 17-10. A new position for them this year. They're 0-2 and looking for their first win, and what a way to pull it off if they can do it here against Denver. Costly penalty on that kick return called on Sidney Johnson for illegal use of the hands as it marches them back to their own 10. Fake to Palmer. The pass caught by Moriarty. Oh, and a nice extra effort gets him out over the 20-yard line for a first down. Tackle made by Mike Hart. Look at Moriarty and the smile by DeBerg. Moriarty did a little war dance right there after he got up.
DeBerg liked that. I mean, Moriarty, this man is 237 pounds. Now he gets up in the air to get this extra yardage on the run. 237 pounds. What's just agility? Whoop, up in the air.
77, Carl Mecklenburg bit a little bit on the fake to Palmer. You saw him hold the inside move, and that allowed DeBerg to roll out and then dump it off. 12 yards on the play. First and 10, Kansas City. Palmer with a block from Moriarty. Streaks through and gets out over the 25-yard line. Kevin Clark on the tackle. Now let's go live for an NFL update to New York. All right, thank you, Len. 3 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Jonathan Hayes is in at tight end for the Chiefs. Second down, 6 after the run by Palmer. Palmer's really involved in the offense today, and DeBerg throws, and it was knocked down. Freddie Gilbert, number 90, got his hand up there and knocked it down, and everybody was looking around, including me up here. Where's the ball? That looked like the hidden ball trick. It was right in the arm of Gilbert and then down on the carpet here at Arrowhead. There's Freddie Gilbert. He knocked it down. He gave us the call and wanted to make sure we knew it was him.
Well, these defensive linemen are smart. I'll tell you, if they don't get good pressure, get off the line of scrimmage toward the quarterback, they get those big hands up there in those arms, and they try to knock those passes down. And you see they're successful from time to time.
Looking, waiting for the snap. Out of the shotgun, Tom Baugh. Ready to snap to DeBerg. 3rd down, 6. Shooting it long. Carson would have to come back to try and make the catch, and he couldn't. Crowd wanted a penalty called. The coverage by Bruce Plummer was very good, though, and Carson had to come back to try and make the catch, and he couldn't as DeBerg comes up short. It's 4th down. Off the field comes the Chiefs offense. On the field comes Kelly Goodburn to punt it away.
There's Carson in the slot. He simply runs a streak pattern, but there is very good position by Plummer here, and DeBerg had to get rid of that ball. It was good pass rush that time by the Broncos front.
Broncos stand to pick up some pretty good field position. Goodburn will hit it from his 15 and doesn't hit it well. Natil runs up, slides, makes the grab. Now he's going in the wrong direction. Can Kansas City hem him in? Yes! Jonathan Hayes and James Saxon in on the tackle for Kansas City. What a wild punt return.
Well, it's easy to tell these guys where to run the ball after the play, but, you know, punt returners, running backs, you never tell these guys when they should cut, when they shouldn't. They have to go on instinct.
13 left, 3rd quarter. Joe, that's the Denver coaching box looking at formations, Polaroid pictures, snapshots, different formations. If you look way over on the corner, you and I were right there in one of those formations. 1st and 10, Denver. Tony Dorsett. Out over the 40, out to the 43. Did they ever do that, Joe, in your day?
Yes,
Take
they
the
did.
snapshots? Did you find them helpful?
Yeah, they are helpful. You can see where the guys are lining up before the snap. And look at these Jets, 31-3 over Houston.
And New England, as you heard from Len Berman, 14-13 now leading. Jim McMahon is out with a knee injury, and Minnesota's cleaning up on Chicago. And the rest of the scores on Sunday, number 3. New Orleans again coming from behind to move ahead, and Tampa Bay up on top now with a 1-point lead. We have an injured Chief down on the field on that last run by Dorsett. Incidentally, that was a 31-yard punt. And then Ricky Natil went back -6 yards. Boston blowing out the Yankees at Fenway in the 7th. Baltimore just 2nd down and 7 for the Denver Broncos after the break in the action. Dorsett and Winder make up the backfield. And now shifting around behind John Elway. 3rd quarter. 2:35 left. Broncos down 7. Oh, and Vance Johnson moved off at least a second early. So this one's coming back. They're throwing Vance Johnson. Play, and it's picked off. Deron Cherry makes the interception, and they rule him down back at the 10-yard line. That would be his 2nd interception of the day.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a late call downfield. He ruled him down. The meantime, he watched him run 10 yards before he ruled him down. I'm not so sure he was tagged down.
Officials are going to huddle up on this one because Vance Johnson took off early. Elway back to pass, steps up, and he's going down the field for Vance Johnson.
Let's see if he ever is touched.
Number 82 offense. Penalty decline. 1st down, Kansas City.
You see, the whistle hasn't been blown yet.
The penalty was on Vance Johnson for releasing early. And that has been declined, so the interception stands for Deron Cherry. Here's Elway watching the play, and oh, baby, he knows Cherry's got it. Then starts looking to the sideline for the flag. And we'll move over as Cherry started on the run back. 2 interceptions on the day against Elway. Cherry's got them both. Ball at the 10-yard line. Kansas City's defense gets the turnover. DeBerg is calling for time right now as things were not set up. I think they had some problems with the yard marker, bringing them down the field. Frank Gann saying, okay, are they all set? Let's go to work. And it gives his team an opportunity to get back into the huddle, too. We had 2:22 remaining. 3rd quarter. Kansas City is shot ahead after a tie at the half on a touchdown pass from Steve DeBerg to Paul Palmer on the first drive of the 2nd half. From their own 10. Palmer turns it outside and gets pretty good yardage. Simon Fletcher was out there ready to make the tackle. Palmer shifted it into another gear, turned the corner, and was finally driven out by Kevin Clark.
Well, that's exactly what the speed will do for you. Palmer has the speed to give it that nod inside and get outside. There's Simon Fletcher, number 73, that got over to make the play. But when you have that kind of explosive speed, you can draw the defenders toward the middle of the field, then jump outside, just as Palmer did on the last play.
4 yards on the game by Palmer as we watch DeBerg coming up over center. Tom Baugh. Paul Palmer ready for action. Second down, 6 from the 15. Mecklenburg on the line of scrimmage, now drops back into a linebacker position. And DeBerg drops back to throw, and again it is knocked down. Andre Townsend got up to bat the ball away. Rulon Jones was in there too. Townsend and Jones in the face of DeBerg. He's had 2 passes batted down here in the third quarter.
Just outstanding defensive effort there. Outstanding. I mean, anytime you can get your hands up, not only does the quarterback have a tough time getting the ball past you, but he has a tougher time seeing as well.
DeBerg brings it up to the line of scrimmage on third down. 3rd and 6. Third down conversions. They're 5 for 11. 6 defensive backs in for Denver. Moriarty in the backfield for blocking Harry. DeBerg fires. Ball caught. Emil Harry with some running room, too. Outside into the 30-yard line and a first down for the Chiefs. And a big third down conversion by that man, Steve DeBerg. 15-yard pass play, and Emil Harry's made 2 fine catches here in the second half.
Well, the secondary's given Harry plenty of room. You'll see him come down and simply run a hook pattern on the right side of your screen. Here he is in the middle right now, number 86. Number 27 for the Broncos, Kevin Clark, slipped to the wet turf, and that allowed Harry to get the big yardie.
15-yard pass play. 16 first downs in the game for the Chiefs. DeBerg running now up the middle. Mecklenburg was there, and so DeBerg said, I'm out of here, and he goes down at the 35. Paul Palmer with a block there. Carl Mecklenburg on the tackle as DeBerg and number 77 were eye to eye, and now DeBerg getting readjusted into his uniform after watching Mecklenburg there.
DeBerg has been superb, Jim. I haven't seen him make the wrong decision, going to a receiver, letting the ball go when he shouldn't. Not once today. This man has been playing very well.
The next Joe Namath out of college. It's happened throughout my career. And here I am sitting with the next Joe Namath. Or the real Joe Namath, right? Out over the 40-yard line. Palmer had the ball, dropped it, and then it was picked up by Kittrick Taylor. Mike Hardin on the tackle for Denver. It will be third down and short for Kansas City. Carlos Carson coming off the field now. Steve DeBerg, the odd man out. We showed you this earlier. Montana, Elway, Young, Testaverde. DeBerg has thrown for 226 yards today and 2 touchdown passes in the game. Third down, less than 1. Remember, he kept it on one of these plays. They're going to go outside. Palmer very close, might have just picked it up over the 40-yard line. Met head-on by Mecklenburg. As time runs out here in the third quarter. And the Arrowhead Stadium crowd of close to 70,000 roaring as the Chiefs take a 7-point lead into the fourth quarter. At the end of the third quarter, the score, the Kansas City Chiefs 17, the Denver Broncos 10. We'll be right back as to whether or not he will return. First and 10, Palmer got the first down off that good line action that we saw. 17-10 Kansas City. We open up the fourth. Moriarty slips through, picks up 4 yards to the 45. And the Chiefs getting up off the turf after every play, really pumped up. Irv Eatman let him through the hole. Greg Cragen, the nose tackle, makes the stop for Denver.
And what a tackle it was, too. A shoestring tackle right down around his feet. Had he not made that tackle, we'd have had another 10 or 12 yards run upfield by Moriarty.
Second down, 6. Ball on the 45. Here we go. Steve DeBerg. Listen to the call he makes at the line of scrimmage. It off. Moriarty again. Joe, did he check off up there at the line of scrimmage? As Moriarty goes near the 49.
You should never be able to tell when a quarterback's checking off. A good quarterback will use live audibles as fake audibles. He'll use the same numbers he wants to go to later. If a quarterback is checking off and someone says, hey, he's checking off right now, that quarterback is doing a poor job.
They'll come up on a 3rd down and touchy situation now. 3rd down and 2. On 3rd down and 1, just before the 3rd quarter ended, they got the first down, Paul Palmer. That man's been on the sidelines a lot, John Elway. They haven't had a first down in the second half because DeBerg has had the Chiefs offense out on the field for a long time. 3rd and 2. Can Palmer get it? Hit at the 50-yard line. Looks like they're short. Mecklenburg. Rulon Jones. Andre Townsend. Team tackle there on Palmer as he tried to get to the outside. The man pulling out was David Lutz to try and get him the first down. There's Mecklenburg.
Well, when you have a man that's quick and fast and only weighs 181 pounds, you do get some good explosive plays. But also, you don't get those extra yards by that running back fighting forward as you would from, say, a Herschel Walker. He's just not big enough and strong enough, but he certainly is explosive.
They are short for the first down, although DeBerg wants a measurement, and Jerry Seaman, I believe, is going to give him one as they'll bring the sticks out and check and see. They are just shy of midfield, although the nose of the ball points right over the 50. Stretch them out and find that that's what's left. They are short. And Frank Gans on the sideline emphatically pointing, punt the ball.
That's right. Hey, let your defense play. The defense played well the first 2 weeks. They're doing well today. Why put them in an awkward or bad position if you don't make the first down? Go ahead and punt it back Denver up, and let your defense get out there and try to control the game.
Stan Reeves looking down at that game plan, hoping to get some plays for his offense as we look at Kelly Goodburn and what he has done on the day. We have a new man back now. Again, although new not today, Kevin Clark has been back there and then not back there sometimes. Ricky Nattil took the last punt back. Clark has been the primary return man throughout the season for Denver. Ball snapped from midfield. 17-10. Kansas City in the lead. 2 minutes gone here in the 4th quarter. Chiefs lining up now, making sure that Denver doesn't slip in there to block one. Bottom of your screen, a speedster, Sam Brady, could blow in there as Goodburn gets it away. Clark catches at the 12. Spins out to the 18-yard line and is dropped there. Adam Lingner and Jack Del Rio were down there for Kansas City as their chase teams have done an exceptional job here today, and they have hemmed Denver in. Crowd roaring. 12:37 remaining. 4th quarter. Denver trailing Kansas City 17-10. Chiefs trying to get their first win. Elway trying to get some offense. He fakes one way, throws for Vance Johnson. Can't pull it down at the 49-yard line. Johnson made a nice move trying to turn around to even come close to making the catch because the ball was delivered on the wrong side. Elway and the Broncos only have 8 total yards offense here in the second half.
Well, Kansas City's defense has been playing superbly, and the offense of Kansas City has kept the ball away from Denver. Here you see a unique shaped huddle, a V-shaped huddle. The reason Denver uses this style is when they play up at the Kingdome, they can't hear in the circular huddle. So this way, they're facing the quarterback. They can hear Elway much better.
Ricky Nattil and Vance Johnson, 2 wide receivers, top of the screen, same spot. Now Nattil in motion. 2nd and 10. The rush up the middle, but he unloads and it's complete out near the 30-yard line. Steve Sewell makes the catch, the all-purpose back. Close to a first down, should have the first down. Yes, he does. He got 11 yards on the pass play. First down, Denver, their first of the second half.
I'm a little surprised to see Denver not throwing the ball more to Steve Sewell. He's in there. He gets isolated on the strong safety, Kevin Porter, who's just a rookie. I would think that Denver would try and pick on that rookie with Sewell.
Elway against Bill Moss right there, looking him over. That's Moss, 63, now down in the nose tackle spot. And there you see him hopping across the line of scrimmage. Elway back. Flag is down. He throws. Almost picked off by Albert Lewis at the 30 of Kansas City. So you saw 63 Bill Moss react quickly, and now we'll check out the flag as we look at John Elway, and he's an interested party in this conversation by the officials.
I never understand how the nose tackle can jump offside, or we saw Vance Johnson jump offside earlier for Denver, a wide receiver. These guys should never go offside.
Now the call.
Offside, number 63 defense.
So it was Moss.
He just gets overexcited. I mean, he wants to get in there so quickly, he jumps the gun. Meantime, the football's just in front of him.
Kansas City coaching staff upset on the call. It gives the Broncos 5 yards. And it's first down and 5. 11:43 remaining. Regulation time. Broncos trail the Chiefs 17-10. In the third quarter, the Bronco offense, they were spectators. As Kansas City engineered close to a 9-minute drive to go ahead in the game. Elway on first and 5. Throws across the middle. It's dropped by Dorsett. A lot of linebackers around there. Tim Cofield was the most notable as Dorsett cannot hang on. It is second down and 5.
Well, that was just a bad drop on Tony D's part. I mean, he had some running room had he held on to the ball. He doesn't drop many of them. He's been known for his good hands throughout his years in the league, and it was just a bad break for Denver.
And if you're Kansas City's defense now, Joe, you have to keep in the back of your mind that ability to turn on busted plays by Elway. I mean, you can defend this guy perfectly, textbook style, but he can still turn in the busted play and make it a big play. Second and 5. The tight end Mobley shorthanded this time over the 40 and a Denver first down. Cooper and Hackett on the tackle, 55 and 56, the two linebackers, bringing down the big tight end Orson Mobley. His third year out of Salem College, 256.65. Signs of movement now by Denver on their way down the field. The drive started deep in their own territory, and now they're still in their own territory as we look at that V-shaped huddle. And out they break. First and 10 at the Denver 42. Dorsett alone back in the backfield, now joined by Sewell. For Dorsett, with some great footwork, they say not great enough. He's out of bounds, and Tony is red hot. Or did one of now the officials commenting and talking it over? Are they going to say he was in? It was a super catch by Dorsett. The question, the feet, were they in?
Well, why don't they just let this replay go ahead and decide it? Two officials disagree with one another. We have the replay right here. Tony Dorsett goes through the right side of the line. He'll be up at the top right-hand side of your screen. Does he have control of the ball, and are his feet in bounds? He doesn't have control yet.
What do you think, Joe? No?
No, I don't think it was a good catch. Only because I saw that ball bouncing his hands a little bit and then his right leg scraping the line. Had he caught the ball cleanly initially, it could have been a completion.
Now they talk it over. I'm sure they're looking at it. In the meantime, Dan Reeves looking down at the field. And the Chiefs fans now will become very vocal. You know that for sure. When Elway brings the Broncos up, they might need a V huddle at the line of scrimmage. First and 10. The Broncos' third first down along the drive. Now in Kansas City territory. Down 7. 10:43 left. A lot of room. And a man wide open. Vance Johnson. As Elway zips it to him at the 25-yard line.
That's Vance Johnson.
Beautifully done. 17-yard pickup and a first down to the Kansas City 25 as Vance Johnson started out red hot, ended up in an X-ray room in the second quarter, back in the lineup and makes a big catch there.
Denver uses a floating tight pocket. Here you see Johnson wide open in the middle of the field. I like the way Denver went to their rollout type action to give Elway a little more time to pass the ball.
5 minutes down here in the fourth quarter. 10 to play. Chiefs hanging on to a 7-point lead, but being tested now by John Elway and the Broncos. He rolls out to the near side. It's a screen to Sewell, and what a play! Kevin Porter, the rookie, free safety making his first start, comes up and drills Sewell at the 25.
Well, in talking with Rod Rush yesterday, the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, he said the most important thing or the biggest thing this young Kevin Porter has to get over are his nerves. He has the ability, he has the speed, and he has the ability to cover receivers, but he was a nervous wreck yesterday. Obviously, he's gotten over his nerves a little bit, and he laid a hard hit on the receiver.
Second and 10. All those defensive statements come into play right now on that sign. 9:50 to go in the game. Elway straight in the pocket now for Natil at the end zone. Through his hands, incomplete. Very good coverage by the quarterback, Kevin Ross. Big rush by the rookie, Neil Smith. He's still looking for his first pro sack. He almost had it there, Joe.
He almost had it. It was still good pass protection. Elway has plenty of time here. On the right side of the screen, you'll see 31, Kevin Ross, in excellent position, just in time to get his hand up and knock the ball away. Beautiful defensive play.
So there are some credentials to show you why they are called the best corners in the league. Ross and Lewis. It's third down and 10. 4 defensive linemen and 6 defensive backs. The Ron Rush keeps defense. Third down. Elway throws quickly. Incomplete. Right in between Vance Johnson and Rick Massey. And it was again the rookie Porter. And Albert Lewis also on the coverage as the Chiefs defense holds.
It amazes me that one of the receivers couldn't turn inside to get to this pass. There were 6 people downfield, 5 people, and the ball travels as far as it did, and no one's able to get their hands on the ball. Here you see the receivers on this side, and the ball's going to land just in the middle, in between all 5 of these people.
42-yard field goal attempt to slice into the Kansas City lead. Carlos on its way. Good. A 42-yard field goal by Rich Carlos. And the Kansas City lead is down to 4. In Kansas City, 9:34 left. Kansas City by 4 over the Denver Broncos, 17-13 after a 42-yard field goal by that man, Rich Carlos. On its way, Kicker Taylor for the Chiefs. Over the 20, out to the 24-yard line. Scoreboard time now on NFL Sunday number 3. Jets, Joe, Jets.
You never know in the NFL. You just never know for sure.
Boy, that's a typical Central Division battle. Cincinnati leads. Buffalo now by 2 over New England. Miami, Washington, and Minnesota. New Orleans has moved ahead, and Phoenix over Tampa Bay. AL East, Yankees have closed a little bit, but it's time's running out. And in the season, too, Baltimore and Detroit scoreless. Right here, 17-13, Kansas City Chiefs. We understand some of you watching our game are having some video problems. We are working hard to correct those. That darn Hurricane Gilbert again, Joe. I don't know if it is, but we're blaming everything else on Hurricane Gilbert. Big drive now. DeBerg would love to get some first downs, and he throws there, and it's caught out over the 40-yard line. The tight end, Alfredo Roberts. And he gives you the signal first down, and DeBerg gives you that big grin as he's moving the Chiefs again. They need some first downs, use a little clock, and they could use some points, I think, too.
And DeBerg has just been superb today. You know, with this yardage that he's racked up, Steve DeBerg has become only the 6th active quarterback in the NFL to pass for over 20,000 yards. He joins Grogan, Montana, Jaworski, Danny White, and Kramer in that category.
And making his first Chiefs start, a successful one so far. 19 yards on the pass play. Paul Palmer slips through over the 45, and he was about another move away from slipping through for a lot. Carl Mecklenburg in on the tackle. Good block by Rich Baldinger, the left guard, and by Larry Moriarty. And Moriarty's been leading the train a lot here today. That was another good Frank Gann's decision to insert Moriarty in as a blocking back. And Moriarty's done a little running, too. Injured player down, Walt Boyer, a defensive end, 65, left leg problem now on the turf here at Arrowhead. Broncos have been banged up here. Chiefs looking for their first win. Up to the line of scrimmage, second down and 6. The injured player, Walt Boyer, was helped over to the Denver sideline. But left primarily under his own power and seemed to be okay. DeBerg on second and 6 now. Paul Palmer has it inside the 40-yard line of Denver. Good for first down. Palmer doing it all. Running and receiving, and that's what they wanted from him when they did draft him out of Temple, and they're getting it today.
DeBerg's done an excellent job of moving the ball around. He's thrown as many pass completions to his backs as he has to his wide receivers. But the big change in this offense today, along with Steve DeBerg, is the fact that that offensive line with Irv Eatman at right tackle is giving DeBerg time to throw.
2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He threw 3 last week against Seattle, but they were playing pass because he came in there in the second half. They were down. Moriarty with a big hole to the Denver 30, inside the 30 to the 29. That should be close to a first down for Kansas City. Moriarty up and says, "You bet it's a first down. We'll wait for the officials to move the sticks." As Moriarty has played a very inspired game out of that fullback position. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching Colorado's news channel, KCNC TV Channel 4, Denver.
Jim Donovan and Joe Namath back with you at Arrowhead Stadium. Well, Larry Moriarty was just inches shy of picking up the first down as they measure. And Kansas City will have a fun down if you're a quarterback, right? Second down, very, very short.
Yeah, you know, sometimes people say, well, this is a waste down. We can go deep with it. But personally, in this situation, I'd try and get the first down right now. I'd run it at him off tackle or up the gut, get the first down, keep Elway off the field as long as possible, not take a chance on not getting the first down and having the third and short.
And they are using a little bit of that clock, too, with a 4-point lead, 17-13. Kansas City in the lead. Clock running, 7:39 remaining. In the fourth quarter, second down, very short. Inches. Moriarty again. Bangs, and he'll just about get it. First down, Kansas City. Mecklenburg's been all over the field today. Appeared to have a fumble recovering in the first half, but on instant replay, it was found that Stephon Page did not have control, so the fumble was taken away, and that was a big play in this game. Crowd looking on. Over 63,000 here today. 63,268 at Arrowhead Stadium. Carlos Carson to the top of the screen, and there's Mecklenburg right now. He'll start there, and he probably will move around. The line shifts on 1st and 10 inside the 29-yard line. Palmer on the pitch play gets up to the 26. Greg Craig in the nose tackle. Number 71, there he is. He gets up, makes the hit for Denver, and brings Palmer down. And now we'll go to the Denver bench.
James Saxon is in the game for Larry Moriarty. Moriarty had his bell rung on the last play. Appears to be a little bit dizzy. He's on the sideline, but James Saxon did a fine job of blocking the outside linebacker, cornerback, and kicking him out that time, giving Palmer room to turn inside.
For 99 is Sean Knight brought in there for Denver. Second down and 8. The bird changing now, bringing Saxon over to his right. 6 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. Palmer racing through 20. Inside the 20 to the 16, and a Kansas City first down. Big blocks on the right side of the line. Ingram and Lutz and Eatman.
Could this big Kansas City offensive line be wearing down the Denver Broncos defense? The Bronco defense, not being a heavy one, has been questioned. Here you get a good end zone shot. Good surge by the offensive line against the Broncos. And when you see your free safeties and strong safeties making tackles that deep, something is wrong up front with your defense.
Harden and Mecklenburg make the tackle, but not before. A 10-yard pickup and another first down. Left side, Saxon on the carry. Tackle made by Andre Townsend as he gets inside the 15-yard line down near the 13. And the clock continues to wind down, Joe. Now coming up to 5 minutes remaining, fourth quarter, 17-13, Kansas City in the lead.
Sure, they want to run that clock, but you could bet John Elway and his offensive group can march the length of the field in very short time. Kansas City wants to get 7 on this drive and not just the 3.
That's right. Lowry over on the Kansas City bench, all warmed up and ready to go, but DeBerg is not done yet. He's thinking 7-2. Second down and 7 on the pitch. Palmer to the 11-yard line as he went off the right side of the line. Freddie Gilbert on the pack.
By Rick Dennison.
And Rick Dennison, the linebacker, comes up. And there's Dennison running over to the Bronco bench. As they bring in Rulon Jones now, Tyrone Braxton, Kevin Clark also comes in, and Sean Knight.
Now what you must do as a quarterback here is, if you want to pass it, try to get the completion. But above all, don't take any chances with the pass. You can't afford to have the turnover here when you're in this good field goal position.
Big play for both out on the field, both units. Denver has to shut them down. Kansas City wants to keep it going. 3rd and 6. To the end zone, and he threw it away. All you see there are Broncos as they chase the throwaway pass by DeBerg. He threw it right down the middle and out of harm's way, so they'll have to try and settle for 3 off the foot of Nick Lowry. And Frank Gans is 3:52 away from getting his first win of the season as Lowry tries another field goal. Out of the hold of Bill Kenny.
Nick Lowry in field goal formation.
That's for Lowry early in the game. And he hasn't missed this season. He's 3 for 3. This is from 29 yards out.
That's all.
And to put them back up by 7 points with 3:52 left. Looks good. He's got it. Jack Del Rio congratulates him. Lowry has given them a 7-point lead. 20-13 Chiefs. 3:47. Stand by following our NFL game here from Arrowhead Stadium. The games of the 24th Olympiad continue right here on NBC. We'll be heading over to Seoul. Boxing and weightlifting. Nick Lowry kicks it away. 3:45 remaining in the game. Here's Ken Bell. Gets away from one tackle, but not that one. Angelo Snipes, 52, was the man that came down, made the first hit, and I still believe Snipes came back and pulled him down after that, too. There he is. And here comes John Elway and the Bronco offense. Trailing by 7 again, 20-13 after Lowry made good on that field goal. His second of the day. He's 4 for 4 on the season. Denver will now try and engineer the tying drive. This man's famous for drives. Short of the 20-yard line. He'll have to go a long way. From the 18, Winder, Dorsett. Split behind Elway. That's Natil on the end of that catch. He didn't get too much because Albert Lewis was right up on him and made the tackle right away. Ball is out just shy of the 25-yard line.
Number 84 crossing the field in motion is Ricky Natil. He'll run up and then out a little bit, and he has an open area, but there's a good recovery right there by Albert Lewis, the cornerback.
7 yards on the play, 3 minutes to go, regulation time. Broncos down by 7 on second down at 3. It's Winder, and he slips through as he was hit right when he got the football, and then cut through as Tim Cofield brings him down. Injury report for the Broncos. Walt Boyer, sprained ankle, questionable whether or not he'll be able to get back into the game. Sewell checks out. Dorsett comes into the lineup as we look into the Kansas City defensive huddle. And now to John Elway, trying to pick up the play from head coach Dan Reeves over on the Bronco bench. 2:43 left.
Well, if you're the Kansas City defense, what you want to do now is just keep playing the way you've been playing all day long. Don't go into the prevent-type defense. Just keep doing the things that you've been doing and been successful with against Denver for the first 3 quarters of play.
That second effort by Winder got him a first down, as you saw the measurement. Kansas City players on the bench telling the crowd to rev it up. Get right in John Elway's ears. First and 10. Just shy of the Denver 30. Oh, a lot of time. And the tight end Orson Mobley makes a tough catch as he brings the ball back in at the Denver 46-yard line, and a first down, 17-yard pass play.
Excellent throw by John Elway. Good example of that strong arm. They want to get this play off before the 2-minute warning, and they're smartly up to the line of scrimmage. Elway has total command of that offense.
And you're watching the clock down on the bottom of the screen. They get it off and hand it off. And Winder cuts back and cuts into Kansas City territory down at the 47-yard line. 2 minutes remaining in regulation time. Sammy Winder, and the Broncos down by 7.
On behalf of the
And they'll try and tie it up with 2 minutes left to go. Jim Donovan and Joe Namath with you from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The situation, Chiefs lead by 7, 2013 over John Elway and the Denver Broncos. Thanks to that man, Steve DeBerg, making his first start for Kansas City. He threw a touchdown pass on the first drive of the second half to Paul Palmer that put the Chiefs ahead to stay. Nick Lowry added a field goal after a Rich Carlos Denver field goal. Cut the lead to 4, and it's now back to 7. But DeBerg well knows that Elway can lead his team down the field and work the clock masterfully.
He sure can. You know, all this excitement in the air and a great game going on, I can't help but think of Hank Stram, the fellow that led these Chiefs to the Super Bowl back in '69. And all of us here, I know Jim, myself, and the rest of the crew certainly hopes that Hank's doing fine right now.
There it is. Hank Stram, 1960 to 74 with a Super Bowl championship here in Kansas City. If you notice down the bottom of your screen there, the Kansas City Chiefs bench being led by quarterback Steve DeBerg as we check the report card, urging the fans to whoop it up here. DeBerg with an excellent day. Palmer, 71 yards rushing. Lowry 2 for 2, very solid there. And the Broncos, Elway with 2 interceptions, now 18 for his career against Kansas City rather. Dorsett with that 1 touchdown run. 2 minutes to go. 7-point difference. Kansas City in the lead. Broncos now have engineered themselves into Chiefs territory. Elway will run. Get nailed at the 41-yard line. Dino Hackett put the hit on Elway, but he's getting up slowly, but appears to be okay. Oh, did Hackett hit him? And Neil Smith was there too. There's the rookie Smith. Elway going over to the Denver bench.
Well, John appears to be all right. I'll tell you, this was a hard hit. John does everything he can to get this team moving, and when he needs to run the ball up the gut, he takes it down and runs it. Meantime, what a hit by Smith, and then Hackett comes in to clean up, and that's a tough sandwich job. I'm surprised that Elway's even able to get up to walk to the sideline.
Denver used a timeout. They now have 2 left. He's a tough kid, though, Joe.
He sure is.
He's back over there thinking offense, thinking about getting his team into the end zone. The Chiefs have them all left. And there's that Kansas City defensive huddle as Dino Hackett will call the signals of Rod Rust, defensive coordinator, who has put the Chiefs back into a 3-4 defense that the players love here in Kansas City, and they've played it well today. But can they hang on against Elway's Broncos? 1:42 left. Incomplete to Sewell at the 35. There's a flag down on the field. Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Denver Broncos. Remember, a flag is down, and it's against Kansas City. Here's the call from Jerry Seaman.
Holding, number 27 defense. First down.
Well, the rookie Kevin Porter, who has made so many big plays today, gets nailed for holding. It's a first down now at the Kansas City 36-yard line with 1:37 remaining in regulation time. The Chiefs lead by 7 over Denver. Vance Johnson and Rick Massey head out to the top of your screen. Ricky Nattiel is down at the bottom. 3 wide receivers in. First and 10. Elway, pocket, flushed. And Neil Smith had him, lost him. Elway to the 30. It will be a 6-yard pickup, and the clock will remain running with 1:25 remaining.
Still plenty of time left. The Broncos don't have to be in too big a hurry.
He's got him up to the line of scrimmage in about 12 seconds. Elway fires. Nattiel tried to stretch out at the 20. It's incomplete. But the job is done as it's an incompleted pass, but it stops the clock. 1:12 left. Thank you, Len Berman, and we want to welcome those of you that watched the Jets-Oilers ball game from the Meadowlands. Jim Donovan and Joe Namath with you. Fourth quarter, 1:12 remaining. Regulation time. Kansas City in the lead over Denver, 20-13. Third down, 4 yards to go. You're in 4-down territory right now, though. 2 timeouts left for the Broncos. Needing 7 to tie. Out of the backfield, Winder can't hang on. Defensive end Mike Bell got his hand up and forced Elway to put a lot of arc on that ball. And now he's got 4th and 4 with that left in regulation.
Well, that's what happened on the play. Elway had to throw the ball over Mike Bell and just put a little too much on it. Winder didn't get turned upfield fast enough. I don't think it was anyone's fault, just a good play by Mike Bell.
Steve Sewell checks into the huddle. He's got the next play with him. Frank Gans looking for the Chiefs' first win. They're 0-2 this year. Wide receiver Darryl Colbert looking on. Anxious moments on the Kansas City sideline. 63,000 roaring on 4th down and 4. For Denver, they must convert. They do not convert. He overshoots Sewell. Kansas City ball. Try and ride it out now. 1:04 left. Chiefs appear to be on their way to win number 1. Stay right in bounds, and he does as he knee down at the 34 as Cragen gets up, holding on to Palmer a little bit, and they break away. Denver has 2 timeouts remaining, and we'll check and see if they've stopped it right now. Clock stop, yes, they have used a timeout. They have 1 remaining with 56 seconds remaining in regulation time. Kansas City leading 20-13.
Just a tremendous effort by this Kansas City offensive line today, giving DeBerg the time to pass the ball, and DeBerg was flawless. I mean, he didn't go to a wrong receiver one time, not into double coverage. He was sharp with his passing. He just did an excellent job today.
Went off to a slow start. He was 2 for 7, throwing high, but it was raining here early. Ball appeared to be wet, and he was throwing high, but then he settled down right at the end of the second quarter. And Frank Gans installed DeBerg in as the quarterback, and Dan Reeves knew that DeBerg would be tough defending against him because he's been around so long. And, of course, he has a chapter in his career spent in Denver, too. A very resourceful quarterback, and now has that Kansas City offense believing that they can score. Coming into this ball game, in 2 games, they had only scored 1 touchdown. 56 seconds left. Denver has 1 more timeout left. Palmer over the 35, out close to the 39-yard line. Denver stops the clock again. And they have used their final timeout. Now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. And today's empty over to Seoul right after the conclusion of this ball game for the games of the 24th Olympiad. This one's been a very good game here today at Arrowhead. Kansas City's Chiefs leading Denver's Broncos by 7. Moriarty, first down Moriarty, and the Chiefs are going to win this one. And Elway now knows it. And there's a happy coach, Frank Gans, and an even happier Steve DeBerg. He's been smiling all day, but now he really believes that he's got this team in the win column, number 1 on the season for the Chiefs, and right back in to the AFC Western Division race.
I'll say right now Denver has a 1-2 record, and that's not a good start for the Broncos.
Listen to the crowd and quarterback DeBerg. It will run out here at Arrowhead, and the Chiefs will beat the Broncos. Final score, 20-13. Well done, Steve DeBerg. And Dan Reeves and the Broncos walk out of here a loser again. It's been a temple of doom for them. Final score, Kansas City 20. The Broncos 13 will be back to Arrowhead in a moment.
Jason Johnson and Ken Bell are deep. It's Johnson at the 2-yard line.